welcome to the stream. So while I do my technical stuff to get set up, I wanted to, well, when I'm being kind of lazy, I have a vacation coming up soon. Well, it's not so much a vacation as it is just an obligation. Yes. I'm away from work. I won't be streaming, so wanted to kind of be a little easier on, yes. I don't know how to describe it right, but I'm not going to be doing any Google Docies. So what I really wanted to cover tonight, not that I didn't want to cover what I am, but I wanted to cover JStock's recent stuff, because he apparently there was a pretty funny Destiny quote that came out of all this. But if I run to Twitter, will I find it? That no, it is full of Uma Musume stuff, because people love horse stuff right now. But essentially, JStock, whenever the Destiny drama happened, apparently said something like, "Man, Destiny has a habit of dating a lot of mentally ill girls, but I think dating mentally ill girls is akin to like manipulation and is like evil." And then he's like dating a former Destiny girl who is mentally ill and like home wrecking their relationship. That's what I got from that. I might have to go through the Destiny leaks myself to like see it, because I think his text messages got leaked in the court documents. So we will have to see. But for now, there's not too much. A bunch of other people are covering it right now, so if you want somebody else to stream, I think if you just look up like Justical Cherry, that's CHAIRY. Yeah, it's kind of weird. So for now, we are covering, I didn't even get the tabs ready. What the hell? What's wrong with me? We're gonna cover Stop Killing Games for our first segment. So,
as a game.
Oh, that's actually the wrong video. I don't want that one yet. But yeah, we're gonna be watching the Soggy Cereal one. Honestly, that one's just like confirmation bias. Whenever I watched it, because like I'm not a game dev. I would love to be one. I am making a game, but I don't believe I have the right to call myself a game dev until it comes out. Because it is a prestigious title in my stupid fucking community. So the big update on Stop Killing Games. We're actually going to do the reverse, where actually no, Ross isn't particularly visually he doesn't have like a lot of visuals. Soggy Cereal does, so we'll be switching back and forth. And we are going to continue playing Forgive Me Father 2. I bought a bunch of FPS games, but Forgive Me Father 1 was very good. I really liked it, so we're going to keep playing that. So let me get the audio prepared, because this game is very loud. Like 5. I have graphics options. Epic. Okay. So yeah, good news for Stop Killing Games. It has passed the 1 million signature mark. However, it will still be needing a bunch more signatures. I think Ross, well, I think he goes over it, but he wants like 20, 30, or 40% optimally more signatures, which at the rate that it's going, I think it'll at least hit the 20% mark. Although it won't be going that rate for much longer. I assume. Due to one, double signatures. That's always going to be a thing. People forget. Best case, worst case, they're maliciously signing twice or 3 or 4 or 5 times. But actually, let's just... Oh, and there's also like a lot of Americans who signed it, I think because primarily Americans are like the YouTube audience. I think a lot of Europeans still watch like TV or they just don't speak English. And Ross speaks English. He didn't make this video in Polish. So let's get into it.
I have some announcements on Stop Killing Games. And I'm going to be looking away a lot because my mind tends to go blank when I look into the camera, and I don't want to memorize this. Okay, the breaking news. The European Citizens Initiative has crossed
Yippee! Let's fucking go!
1 million signatures. Except it hasn't. This is going to kill morale, but there are 2 things going on here. The first we knew was coming. Every time somebody makes a mistake when they sign the initiative, their signature gets invalidated. So that means we need more signatures to make up for everybody's mistakes. It kind of reminds me of multiplayer games when you see somebody who just has no idea what they're doing, like they're attacking a wall or something. So in this case, we need to pick up the slack for the people who literally can't write their own name properly. That could be a lot.
That's true. That could be a lot.
I've heard 10% minimum, 20% is better, 40% should be really safe.
Let's see if we can get to 2 million.
Or it would be, but we have a second problem.
How many people live in the EU, actually? I'm wondering how big of a percentage this is. EU population. Around 449 million people live in it as of January 1st, 24. I'm assuming that's probably risen to 400 and... What, like average population growth is like 1.5%? I think that's like worldly. Well, no, that's like taking away some. So what would that be? Like another 6 million? So let's say like 450 rounded up.
I've received several reports of people claiming to spoof signatures.
Okay, also on my previous thing about shitting on... Wait, this is way too sensitive. On JStalk, I've watched this guy called... I'm picking a fight. I'm watching this guy. Ryle Kittenhouse, parody of Kyle Rittenhouse. And God, I don't know. I don't like him. He talks to JStalk a lot, or at least he's a clipper. And I think, I don't know, he's been...
Signatures on the initiative site. First off, I want to say that this is not a change.org petition. This is a government process. Spoofing signatures on it is a crime. Please do not do this. They'll be checked later by the EU Commission, and my guess is the fake ones will get turned over to Europol or Interpol, and they'll follow up on this. If it's coming from America, Interpol is known to cooperate a lot with the FBI. Now, will they prosecute people on this? I have no idea. Europe takes its political processes pretty seriously, so I would think the more it's being spoofed, the more they might send law enforcement out.
Oh, yeah, sorry. The source of that is just like...
Did I just kill a man?
Whoa.
Forgive me, Father.
Shut up.
There
There was a clip video of like Nick DiOrio sells out the commentary community. And then it's like a clip of him not doing anything. He's just shitting on Lance from the Surfs. And then there's just like a bunch of other clips that, I don't know, seem way too aggressive.
After people doing this. Again, I would not suggest doing this. It seems like a bad thing to risk going to prison over. But the problem here is I am now in a complete fog as to how much this affects the initiative. Now don't worry. None of this will invalidate the initiative. All legitimate signatures will still count.
Whoa.
But that 1 million number? Yeah, it might not be real. I think we have at least 600, 700,000 real signatures.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Beyond that, I don't know.
I assume, actually, the amount of incorrect signatures is probably, I'm going to assume, about 10 to 15%. Going for all the way to 30 seems like a lot. Although he is a pessimist, so we might be thinking about that.
Maybe it's just 1 or 2 people who tried it, and this is nothing to worry about. Or maybe it's a sophisticated botnet spoofing hundreds of thousands of signatures. I have no clue. In fact, I noticed a few days ago, we were getting a good rise in the day, European time, but then it would fall off a lot at night because people were going to bed. Now it seems like it's rising a lot through the night. So maybe most of this is an illusion now. We may not have won anything. I have to give credit where it's due. I was looking forward to reaching a safe margin and putting this behind me. But now I guess I have to keep this up until July 31st.
So that's somewhat fair, but I also think this has to take into account people who are like gamers. And so it is probably normal for it to like, I don't know, maybe he's thinking like midnight and that's like a lot of people catching it, but it's also because I'm going to guess a lot of the people who are signing it are like watching YouTube late into the night and then they hear about this, which is probably more of a, what is it? Gives a better idea of like, I don't know. I'd probably have to see like YouTube's time zone demographics, like who's watching at night, who's watching what videos at night. I think it's possible, but it's still good of Ross to be on like the pessimistic side.
Because now there's no such thing as a safe margin. I have no idea what's real now. So for people who hate the initiative, you got me. This makes my life harder, and now I'm on the hook even longer. I will be so happy for this campaign to end. Actually, if you're really good at data analysis, I'd say try to look at those first couple days around June 24th and 25th, especially when Moist Critical dropped his video. I remember seeing about a 5% increase in signatures proportional to his views. So it might be safe to assume big YouTube views translate to 5% real signatures. Maybe you can figure out what a real margin needs to be. So yeah, that's
20 to 30% sounds like a good margin to me. I have taken a data analytics class. It's not something I do personally, but I would that's why I'm assuming like, you know, 10 to 20% would generally be what you're looking at for like something that's that would probably be like your incorrect amount of people signing. But yeah.
Bucks. We'll just keep plodding away unless we can figure out what the safe numbers are. Sorry this isn't a big victory celebration. This is just kind of suspenseful and tense instead, and will probably hurt morale of people signing. You know how in World War II, the Japanese had soldiers entrenched in a bunch of Pacific islands? Except some of them never got the memo when the war ended in 1945, so they just stayed there for years, assuming the war was still on?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am right now mentally. At least it all ends in a month. Okay, another announcement. We've gotten reports that some countries, I think Italy and Belgium especially, where sometimes the digital ID system didn't work. In those cases, I'd say either use the manual method, which we have instructions for on stopkillinggames.com, or you could try coming back in a few days and see if it's working. Another news item, I've been told someone has launched a cryptocurrency based on Stop Killing Games.
Stop Killing Games coin going to the moon. I wonder if this is a meme, because I know Patrician TV did a stream recently where it's like STG to the moon. It would be funny if this was real.
Dumbest timeline, guys. Just so everyone's clear, that had nothing to do with us. I have no clue who would even want that. I'm sure it's a scam. So, yeah, that's all there is to it.
I mean,
something else to cover.
Most cryptocurrencies are a scam. Specifically, like, oh, cat is here. Specifically, there's like there's like this website. I don't know what it's called. I have been to it a couple of times. I just don't remember off the top of my head. Where there's like, you can just like set up a cryptocurrency, I think. And people can buy it, and it's like extremely common to get rug pulls on that site. And that's probably what's gonna happen.
Quick, is I've heard a couple reports of people harassing pirate software. I feel like this goes without saying, but if it doesn't, no. Of course we do not endorse harassing him. I mean, I said in my response video, I wished him no ill will, and I meant that. You know why? When people's lives are better, they tend to be less inclined to foment some sort of revenge. And I'm taking on enough heat already without adding to the pile. I mean, I'm getting some crazies heading my way too. Though I can believe it's not as many. I also pointed out last time, whatever damage Thor did to the campaign has been neutralized. So whatever happens is not on him anymore.
I need to charge.
I'll also say, I don't know what the hell everyone is up to either. This is a lot bigger than me. I can barely keep up with the campaign, let alone him or all the supporters. We do have moderators in our Discord trying their best. I've literally seen them ban someone suggesting bad action against others. Beyond that, I know very little and have even less control over what the rest of the internet is up to. I'm focused on the signatures. If Thor and I never bother each other again, that is just fine by me. I also don't hold him responsible for anything his fanbase does. I'm not a fan of collective punishment. And on the flip side, Stop Killing Games is a populist movement.
That's all normal.
That's the very definition of messy. I can control that like I can control the weather. Oh, and speaking of barely keeping up, I've been having to play triage on emails and messages and prioritize the ones most critical for the campaign. So a lot of you are going to get a delayed response, but I should mostly catch up, eventually. Okay, the final announcement. The UK government petition has cleared 100,000 signatures.
Yippee.
And I suspect these signatures are more legit. Though you can keep on signing it too as a safety margin. More will not hurt anything. So what should we expect from this? I honestly have no idea. I would bet money on the EU initiative delivering something good if it passes, but the UK has been more about exhausting all options. I will say whatever happens cannot be worse than the old answer from the Department of Media, Culture, and Sport. Yeah, we get to leapfrog.
Oh, I do kind of want to read that. That's, I didn't even know that they had a response. Let's go back.
Old answer from the Department.
There are no plans to amend UK consumer laws on disabling video games, though selling games must comply with existing requirements. From what I remember, that wasn't, like, super non-comprehensive. It wasn't, like, it was mostly like, we'll keep looking at it, but we have no plans at the moment. Mostly because I think there aren't that many UK-based online services. I think in the EU in general. So probably one of the better criticisms of this is that... Oh, it is recycled garbage, yeah. Of Stop Killing Games is that for the most part, live service games aren't even European. Although, like, in general, I think if enough of the world goes with it, the rest of the world will follow, right? Something like that. But I think a decent criticism is that, like, this isn't going to affect games for a long time, even if it were to be passed, like, tomorrow. Because a lot of the most online games are Chinese, American, Japanese, Russian. And there's very few that are based in the EU or Great Britain.
Garbage.
The United
Remember,
Kingdom,
we
whatever.
tried to launch this last year, and they gave us an answer that was so bad, it was rejected by the petitions committee, and they told government to try again because this didn't answer the question. But then Parliament was dissolved. And when it came back and we relaunched again, we got the same answer copied and pasted into the new one, just rearranged a little bit. Part of me suspects all action in the UK has been held up by one grumpy bureaucrat in the department. Well, now we can ignore that crap and head straight to Parliament. I mean, they cannot do worse than this. A member of...
Oh, God, yeah. The Parliament's weird in the UK. So, for my American fellers out there, the UK kind of runs on, like, a single house. Imagine, like, just the House of Representatives, essentially. And that's basically Parliament. And they're very weird. I mean, I guess everyone's weird to everyone else, right, in that sense. But they've got the Labour and the Conservatives, the Tories. But they kind of align on most things. Both sides just do whatever is, like, most politically expedient at the time of whatever they're doing. And they always claim that they'll do something that is politically expedient and then either not get around to it or do it very poorly if they don't actually agree with whatever they said that they're going to do. This happens with Keir Starmer. It happened with Theresa May. It happened with Boris Johnson. It happens with everybody. Whereas in America, I feel like you have people who are like actually kind of ideologues, which is both good and bad. I guess the main issue would be whether they people in the UK even see that see this as being like a good thing versus getting like, I don't know, money from publishers, assuming they even get any.
Parliament could sneeze on the petition.
Or like potentially scaring away electronic sales, which they don't want to do because the UK economy is like a shit show. They need everything they can get.
And that would not be a worse answer. And that's the one guaranteed thing we'll get out of this, which is answers. Now, for those of you wanting to juice this further, it's been brought to my attention there's a page for finding out who your member of parliament is if you want to reach out and tell them, yes, bring this up in parliament. I'd say, yeah, that could help. But that absolutely is more work than signing your name, so I'm keeping my expectations in check. There's a link in the description of this video. Okay, that's it. Just keep pushing. Now we're in the fog.
Oh, shit. Oh, okay. That's the end of the video. Kind of a surprise end, but yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I'm very glad it's doing well. Ish. About to say Vishnu plays. Vishu plays, hello. Alright, so now that we've got the soggy cereal from featuring a game developer. One of the things I do find kind of funny though is that like Ross is like one of the smallest creators here. He's definitely punching way above his weight, but almost everyone who makes a video gets more views. I just think it's funny.
Game developer who worked as game engine and tools developer on Helldivers 2. I've
Whoa,
always
he
had a
did?
special.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, Soggy Cereal is actually a game dev for fucking Helldivers 2. He'll prove it later in the video, but that's kind of insane to me.
Interest in YouTube's gaming and game developer community. While learning C++ programming, I watched Cherno. Then he was my go-to for game design. And for math and physics, I just smashed my head into a wall.
Pirate Software got the downfall I prayed for. It's not over yet. Don't give up, soldier. It's not over yet. I hope so. I don't know. But this is definitely like, man, I am very like, he's lost a shitload of subscribers. He's lost like a shitload of money, sponsorship deals. People don't want to fucking talk to him anymore. Oh, that was another thing. I didn't prepare it for this. Fucking Pirate Software got kicked out from his being the head of strategy position from yeah, wait, let's watch that instead. That's actually like kind of important to the Pirate Software story. Harmful Opinions did an awesome video on it. Pirate Software rage quits off-brand games.
I am no longer.
You're very loud, Mr. Harmful. Turn that down a notch.
Working at off-brand games, says Pirate Software. People were attacking all of the games we were publishing and trying to mass review bomb them.
Yeah, that's fucking insane to say after what you'll see what fucking happens.
You can dislike the things I say, but this kind of behavior is unhinged. Oh man, let's check out the carnage, because off-brand games are extremely vulnerable to that kind of attack right now. See, as far as I can tell, they've got 3 products on Steam right now, and 2 of them are only available in the form of a free demo, with an independent demo page each. What this means from the perspective of someone who wants to review bomb their games, get together with other people that use bots, there are soft targets to deface. Because with the demo, the only barrier is downloading it, running it for a bit, and then you're allowed to leave a review. You don't have to pay anything. See, I downloaded Bonnie Bear Saves Frog Time demo, and now I can leave a review. I'm not going to, and you shouldn't either, but it's right there, and for anyone who wants to hit all their games, it's effortless. So with review bombers targeting all their products, this is gonna be oh, it's literally received 1 negative review ever, and that was in January. So their other soft target with a free demo, Aethermancer. That must have been defaced with a review bomb, right? Not exactly. Okay, so their other game that's actually out, Rivals of Aether 2, and Ludwig, who I believe is a founder of Off-Brand Games, said for sure that one is being review bombed. Such a bummer Rivals 2 is getting any
Dude, that's fucking crazy. Wait, no, shit, Ludwig is involved in this too. Oh my fucking god, dude. Ludwig's fucking everywhere today. Such a bummer, Rivals of Aether 2. Oh, I mean, he reads it.
People are now review bombing the game.
Oh, no, he's not. Such a bummer Rival 2 is getting any shit. Few devs support their games as much as Rivals of Aether team. They still patch their original Rivals game 10 years after release. People are now review bombing the game. So, I don't think Harmful Opinions brings this up later. Ludwig has to have been contacted by someone, probably Pirate Software. Because Ludwig's going through his own shit right now. So I have to imagine that Pirate or somebody at Off-Brand Games talked to him about this, but Ludwig is like either completely misinformed or doesn't fucking care. Both fell finally. Nah, Ludwig never falls. He's such a rat.
The now deleted tweet he was quoting doesn't seem to call for such a thing, but maybe people underneath it were saying they were gonna. And he confirmed today that the games they support have been getting review bombed. So we're looking for mass negative reviews of Rivals of Aether 2 that are not about the game, or are obviously not really about the game, even if they pretend to be. That's gonna be way harder to bomb because there's a price tag on it. Are people bombing it somewhere else? Like
Pirate Software, on the other hand, I think he is actually going to fall. I think, like, he has endured what, like, consecutive dramas almost since fucking God, since like the first Stop Killing Games thing, because he did the Stop Killing Games thing first, and then people started looking into his past, and then I want to say something else happened that I don't remember, and then he had the private parts thing come out. Sorry, no. Then he had the World of Warcraft thing. Then he had the private parts thing come out where he like DMC. He got his fucking hooligan Discord mod to like threaten to sue private parts, which that's like a whole shit show. And that one, I think that was like the real reveal of Pirate Software's personality for people who couldn't tell. Because I was still a little skeptical that's who he really was after the World of Warcraft stuff, because like, oh, you know what, maybe that's just slip up, maybe he's just bad in like social situations, whatever. I know plenty of people who are like way worse in social situations if they're getting any kind of heat, whatever. Then he did the fucking Dr. K thing, and then he had the furry shit come out. Like, this could be his downfall. He has had like blow after blow to his reputation and online personality. It's just fucking crazy.
Metacritic? No, 3 negative reviews ever. So Rivals of Aether 2 has been review bombed on Steam. I have to ask, where? We want to see a big old red spike. Where is it? In the month of June, the most negative reviews it got in a day was 6. As far
Wait, actually, how many reviews does it have total? Oh, okay. I thought it was way smaller than it was. It got 6 negative reviews in a time period of 273. So, oh no, that's just reviews total. So, like, let's say like 220. 6 of them were like after the Pirate Software stuff. Jesus.
the most negative reviews it got in a day was 6. As far as I can count, less than 10 have anything to do with Pirate Software or Stop Killing Games. But there aren't even enough negative reviews in total that if they were all about that, it could be called any kind of review bomb. But of course, because Ludwig said it was being review bombed, people went on to counter that. One user's recommendation reads, "Game is getting review bombed for some blank that ain't even true, Lamau." Ironic. When I originally tweeted my skepticism of the review bomb, something became clear. People heard about the bomb, went to the page, saw it was on Mixed, and seemed to have thought it dropped down to 50% because of this review bomb. The #1 post about review bombing in their subreddit talks about it dropping to 52% after this review bomb. but that is actually
Jesus.
intensely misleading.
Yeah.
So we do know a little while before the SKG related reviews, it was on 60%. They're right about that. And on June 26th, post-bombing, it was down to 52%. They're right about those numbers, but there's something they're ignoring. It was 60% of 155 reviews, and then 52% of 121 reviews. This is because, of course, recent reviews is a 30-day window. The video that pissed everyone off dropped on June 23rd. So, what was Rivals of Aether 2's 30-day average the day before? 24th May to 22nd June, inclusive, 30 days. Using the archives to count day by day, by my maths, there were 130 reviews in that period, 72 of those being positive. That gets you 55% positive the day before Ross's video. So the claim is that video
so
got...
the reviews didn't even actually harm the game. Sorry, the reviews aren't even part of like the pirate software drama. That's very interesting. That fucking Ludwig would go out of his way to defend that and even say like bring up the fucking pirate software stuff. Jesus Christ.
But your review bombed, and your recent average dropped 3% by the 26th. Not much of a bomb, is it? But it gets worse. If we shift that window 3 days, so we're looking at the 27th of May to the 25th of June, the day before the positive counter bomb, you lose 2 negative, 3 negative, and 3 negative, which is 8. In the days that replace those when the window moves, you got 4 negative, 1 negative, and 3 negative, which is also 8. But in those 3 days you lose from the window shift, you lose 2, 3, and 7 positive reviews, which is 12. And it's replaced by days where you got 2, 2, and 1, which is 5.
Okay.
A decrease of 7. Advanced maths, I know. Which dumps you down to 123 total, 65 of which are positive, landing you at just below 53% positive. The recent review percentage went down because you got the same number of negatives, but less positives. That ain't a bomb. Let's take a peep at Pirate Software's self-published game.
Wait, okay. So it still got like a bunch of negative reviews? I guess that's what I'm a little bit confused about, is they said that it got 6, they said that it got review bombed. But the actual like thing is they either like just put out an update that people didn't like very much, or that's got to be it, right? That's like literally it. Or people did care a lot about the pirate software stuff. That's got to be like they only cared about it and like hit it super well, I guess. Or no, the negatives. Okay, I'm just a little bit confused, but I think I get it.
Now that is what a bomb looks like. Fair few of the new ones have barely any playtime, but that can be explained by the game itself.
Heartbound?
And they just talk about Pirate Software's takes. Maybe he has a legit grievance there, but this isn't off-brand published. Rivals of Aether 2, now apparently some have been deleted, but I cannot find more than 10. I can't even find 10. 10 reviews that are clearly not actually about the game. Now when you get really bombed, Steam steps in and drops one of these. That hasn't happened here, and you can still take that filter off if you want. Plus, on Rivals, reviews that are just talking about Moldavius are still there. I would suggest that there is zero evidence any kind of bombing happened. Just a minuscule number of annoyed people. Not even enough to change the 30-day negative review quantity until you hit the 26th, which is the day the massive counter bomb happened. And all 6 of those negative reviews are from people who put substantial time into the game and are talking about the game. One guy who's played it for 40 hours went out of his way to say, yeah, he knows about the Pirate Software stuff, it annoys him, but this ain't about that. Even though there's content in the game that was used to promote and fundraise for Pirate Software's
Whoa, that seems corrupt as fuck. That seems corrupt as fuck, because if you remember, Pirate Software said that he only gets minimum wage from off-brand games, and that he has no real financial connection to Rivals of Aether 2. No fucking way, dude. Dude, he's even more of a rat than I thought. Holy shit. So, Jesus, dude. That seems like failure to disclose. The Pirate Software is getting the $7.25 minimum wage per hour, and he's getting fucking donations to his ferret charity that go like primarily towards him and his partner, or whoever the other person is that runs the charity. I don't remember her name.
I didn't know about that financial connection, but I checked and it is absolutely true. If there's anything I'll give Pirate Software a big thumbs up for, it's rescuing animals. But in those reviews, that's the only mention, and one weirdo just pasted the about section. But from all that I've seen, Pirate Software's statement about why he's stepping down doesn't exactly strike me as real or true. And it absolutely stinks of face saving and fear of what might happen in the future,
Yeah, totally.
rather than anything that really has. Little bit like that unlawful DMCA claim. Feel free to prove me wrong, but I did my usual digging and didn't find shit. He did say trying to mass review bomb them, so maybe there's evidence of a terrible plot. But be forewarned that some screenshot
Literally a
of dipshit in
conspiracy
Discord
theory to
isn't gonna
review
cut it
bomb
for me,
Rivals of
especially when
Aether
you're
2.
incompetent
No way,
enough to even
dude.
hit your free demos. You don't quit your passion job over that. Maybe he should focus more on something he's good at, being a sacrificial lamb. Blows himself up fighting SKG, signatures go through the roof. Gets hated on a little bit in a tiny dusting of negative reviews. Positive reviews go through the roof, and the game gets put on a nice 30% sale. Maybe I'll pick it up. Don't have much time, but I loved the first one. Oh, the video was gonna end here, but stop the press. Pirate Software has given an update, I just noticed. For those trying to say this is now somehow a lie, the abuse was across
Oh my god. Well, he reads it.
socials, people on Discord, Twitter, Reddit, and some reviews on Steam. Oh, so you know it wasn't review bombed. Abuse and whatever, sure. Horrible. That ain't all you said, though. Indie games are fragile things, and attacks like that hit hard. Overall sentiment was to bash the games. Very different to people actually review bombing it or trying to review bomb it, as you said. You know that didn't happen.
I kind of want to make a video and call it like Pirate Lied, Ferrets Died. I just think that's funny. I think it's a bit too mean though. Getting sniped at? Like, I don't know, man. How can you fucking say that? Also, go back to that. At this point, like, so he quit because it's getting review bombed, right? And that's connected to Pirate Software shit. I actually don't think so. I think he got fired because Off-Brand Games actually does agree with Stop Killing Games. I don't have the tweet in front of me. I think maybe Harmful pulls it up in a minute. But like, they actually agree with it. So they either forced him out because he's like ruining the brand, which to a degree, yeah, I kind of see that. But also, they just don't align with his principles at all at this point. Jesus.
Overall sentiment was to bash the games.
Not
Very
at all,
different
but
to
definitely
people
not on
actually
this.
review bombing it or trying to review bomb it, as you said. You know that didn't happen. You said it did. What's that called? People were trying to review bomb it? How do you review bomb? You get the game, run it for a bit, leave a review. If you want to be really nasty, I think you can refund. Maybe
Also, now would be the best time to review bomb it. I don't think you should. But if you wanted to, why wouldn't you do it now? It's on fucking Steam summer sale. Now's the perfect time to review bomb something.
they plugged that up though. People were trying to do that, but what, they couldn't find the store page? They went to pay and oh shit, I don't have $20 or whatever. Did not happen. And the sentiment was also to bash the developers working on them to try to get back at you. That's horrible. Too bad you also said other things. Saying thing B and that being legit doesn't erase bullshit A you spoke. He did this with the Stop Killing Games stuff, remember? Hey, I didn't lie. Here are the things I said that are true. Ignoring the thing people are saying is a lie. And this time something more's happened. A review bomb has morphed into people bashing it on other platforms and there being some reviews. You threw out a
also you got like one of the top, what, like 10? Not Germa. Oh my god. Ludwig's probably like number 5 or 6 most popular like internet people. So like, yeah, you got him to fucking say something about well, also Ludwig owns off-brand games, but again, I don't think you can possibly like ignore the fact that it wasn't getting review bombed and you got like one of the top biggest people to help spread misinformation.
The accusation of a very specific kind of conduct. Ludwig did as well, but that's not your fault. And Off-Brand, and a game they published, has reaped the rewards. The uptick in positive reviews that Rivals of Aether has been enjoying to this day is not because people were being mean on Reddit, it's because they were told the game got review bombed. Did it? Because you've repeated that, your sacrifice is somewhat in vain. Your stink's still attached. It's gonna smell like you for a while.
Okay. No, not Pippa. Why is Pippa... Oh, I'm on the wrong account for this, actually. One sec. I don't know why I'm on the wrong account.
I am no longer...
Okay. Yeah, so Pirate Software fucking lied, got Ludwig to lie for him, and it all seems to be in like a weird artificial boost of Rivals of Aether during the Steam summer sale. Which is such a weird tactic. Like, Lamau, just make the game good. And I thought it was in this video. Maybe I don't know. But Rivals of Aether 2 is like an offline game anyway. You can play it offline. Can puppets declare war in Hearts of Iron 4? Yes, they can. If it's usually a glitch, or it's like considered a glitch, but if they declare war through a focus, they can, yeah. Usually there's requirements put in like a focus to prevent that. But it can happen, especially in mods. I've seen it a lot. Kaiserreich has issues with that all the time, actually. Excuse me. But they can't like use the actual declare war button, so to say. I mean, they don't use the, you know what I mean. Okay, so now we're back to the soggy cereal video.
One I always avoided was pirate software. No, not the practice. I did that when I was a kid. I'm talking about the content creator pirate.
Whoa, my number. You got a crown next to your name. Oh, you got 50 XP. I guess YouTube is doing an XP thing. What the fuck? Hopefully Millennium Dawn does that. Hopefully Millennium Dawn does have that issue with Myanmar lapel. Yeah, hopefully. You doing a Myanmar run?
Software.
They can eat my entire ass.
Also nicknamed
Yeah, what a
Some of
dick.
you
I
may
can't
know
believe he
Thor
said
as
that.
guy who explained
And then
very
he's like,
simple, basic
no,
concept
guys,
with
it's
serious
okay.
voice and big words in MS Paint, making him seem like very
Goated.
smart
So true.
person.
And that, dear viewer, is how you kidnap children.
Maybe you know him as guy who allegedly cheats in puzzle game streams to see more of an intellectual.
He's being exposed for cheating puzzle game playthroughs now. It's blowing up again.
You've possibly seen him blame,
If we have that kind of a mistake again, I'm disbanding the party. I'm gonna go run with other people because you guys cannot do that again.
rage,
God damn it, guys.
and whine.
Just lost 4 hours of crafting material.
Okay, take off the jacket. It's getting hot. But yeah, these are all things we know Pirate Software for. I hope he doesn't get fired from Arrowhead for this. Since Pirate Software got fired for his drama. I'm the USA and I got him puppeted. Ah, okay. Yeah, if they have a focus for it without, like, is puppet requirement, yeah, they should be able to declare war.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Of course, I'm going to be a little bit upset about that.
Against his supportive viewers for being terrible at a game after someone accidentally
Depends on how
attacked an
high this
NPC
roll
called
is.
the Ocular, which then killed their entire team.
God damn it, guys. So one of you hold the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. Oh, I swear to God, I'm going to go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane shit. You have to be better than that. And we just lost all of those materials because you're not paying attention.
Wow.
This is basic shit. That is insane shit.
Yeah, how dare you attack the Ocular, you stupid, dumb, moron.
Thor pulled in a clip. Link.
Oh wait, what's that? He was the guy who wrongly attacked the Ocular? Making it his
Yes.
fault everyone died? Gee, I wonder how he's gonna apologize for being so toxic to his supportive viewer base for no reason whatsoever.
I'm not at fault there. I'm correct there. for doing that. 100%.
Yeah, wait,
That
he
is
already
not
admitted
on
he
me.
was wrong, and he's like, I'm not at fault here.
Actually getting
What the
everyone
hell?
killed and wasting 4 hours of time was a good
Yeah.
thing. Now don't you dare question it or you'll get banned.
This guy sounds like he takes criticism well. You sound like you want to talk to me about it in the unban request. You're just shit stirring. I'm just gonna get rid of you. Swear to God, I'm gonna go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane shit. You
Oh
have to
my
be better than that.
God.
On Twitch, he's known as the kindest, most supportive, and knowledgeable game dev programmer. Even though he has threatened to sue an indie developer on false grounds, and his codebase would have made
Yep.
me fail my first year at university for my game development
Oh my
bachelor.
God, what
And
the
if you don't know him
fuck?
from any of that, then you might know him as a...
So there was somebody, I think they are actively streaming? I don't remember, but there actually is somebody currently going through Thor's logic. Thor's logic is broken. Thor's coding. Which, like, look, here's the thing, right? If Thor didn't pump himself up to be like an insane like game dev, it would be fine if he had bad code. But he fucking pumps himself up to be like the coolest guy ever. He's the best teacher. You should learn from him on coding and shit, and you should watch him stream his code. And it's like, Jesus, dude, you can't say that whenever your code looks like that. It's like, I remember Yandere Dev got into the same kind of trouble where people went through his like code base whenever his game leaked and were like, dude, your coding is awful. And then he was actually so embarrassed of it because he knew it was bad because that one was layered. It was like 50 if statements in a fucking thing. Which you should, you know, try to avoid because you should generally have like a lot of backups for your stuff on one hand. But on the other, Jesus, that's a fuckload of if statements. I'm sure you could just have like an array or like a function.
guy who worked at Blizzard.
I worked at Blizzard, so when I first started at Blizzard, I worked at Blizzard for 7 years.
I know, he rarely mentions it. I'm just kidding. He mentions it all the time.
Blizzard.
does.
For Blizzard, this is 100% your worst take ever. No, it's not. You know what I did before this? I worked
was
at
it
Blizzard
Blizzard?
Entertainment.
Now, having worked on Helldivers 2,
I memorized that. People have used that clip so fucking much. I think it's fine for amateur people to be like bad at coding, but you can't pump yourself up to be like not an amateur.
Game studios, I understand taking pride in your work. Hell, I opened this video sharing that pride, and every few months I'll rewatch my 5 seconds of delivering democracy in their April Fool's video. And now I'm a YouTuber and my entire life is an April Fool's video. Especially when my contract is making me do an ad read at the start of my video. Wait, no. Today's video sponsor Fume. Fume is a flavored air device designed to help you get rid of bad habits and replace them with better ones. Fume uses plant-based cores with only natural ingredients to give you flavors like peach blush, maple pepper, or my favorite, crisp mint. There is no stanky smoke, no vapor, no addictive nicotine, just naturally flavored air that gives you something to reach out for without the chemical.
Okay, I think we're gonna skip the Fume. We're gonna skip the Fume sponsorship. Sorry, Soggy. Use code Soggy Cereal to get a free Fume topper. There we go.
Hubris start threading real thin, especially when he's caught making a mistake, which I wouldn't have such a problem with if he just owned up to them and if he wasn't so condescending whenever someone else makes one. But he doesn't,
I'm not at fault there.
Yeah.
That is not on me.
and he is.
Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. A really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I never quite felt like making
was,
a video
wasn't
on
it?
him because everything bad he did always seemed trivially obnoxious in itself. But after what he has done to an initiative I deeply care for, well, now those toxic instances formed a pattern not just plaguing Thor, but one reminding me of everything I hated about the game development industry, which I wish to unravel. So let's start talking about...
Oh yeah, so that's a really cool thing I like about this video. It's not exclusively about Thor. He actually unveils a lot of information that I'm interested in.
Stop killing games.
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 For the past decade or so, game publishers have taken it upon themselves to take the entire right of ownership of their games from the buyer's hands and keep it in their own hands with the use of licenses, making it so that if one day they now decide to pack up shop and go to the Bahamas, well, they can take away access from everyone who has ever bought their games. You can see this in the license agreements from scummy, greedy companies like Blizzard, saying Blizzard reserves the right to terminate this agreement at any time for any reason or for no reason with or without notice to you. EA states that if they decide to shut down a game or service, well, they'll tell you
literally
at
just
least
allowed
30
to close
days
it
in
whenever they
advance,
want.
after which you can go fuck yourself, because after online service termination, they can't guarantee their games will continue to function. With Ubisoft, this license confirms no title or ownership in the product. Ubisoft may terminate this agreement at any time for any reason. And Ubisoft abused their practice in 2024 when they took their servers offline for racing game The Crew. A game with a mere 12 million registered players who now, after buying it, all lost access because you could not play without a server connection, causing...
Yeah, that sucks. Again, I actually, that's like the one thing I agree with Pirate Software with, is that like a lot of these games usually die for good reason. The reason they're not supported is because they don't make money because people aren't buying them. But I also agree that if you pay like $60, $70, $80 for a game, and you know, we're reaching the higher numbers now. You're getting like $100. You're getting like a tenth of your fucking paycheck, if not more. Like, especially on like, you know, lower income people who buy a game and want to fucking play it. Yeah, they deserve the right to play their fucking game.
Immense community backlash.
Everyone does.
So inspired by the train wreck caused by The Crew, or guess I should say car wreck. A passionate creator, Ross Scott, who runs a YouTube channel, Accursed Farms, started the Stop Killing Games initiative, with its current goal being to introduce European legislation that prevents publishers from leaving their games in an unplayable
As you can tell
state
from
at the
his
end of their
accent,
life
Saga
cycle.
Cereal
All
is
it asks
Luxembourgish.
to just have publishers leave
I
games
actually have
in
no
a
idea.
reasonably functional and playable state before shutting them down. And to even get this off the ground and in front of the eyes of European lawmakers, it needs at least 1 million signatures. Now, I care deeply for this. I signed the petition not only because I grew up my entire life playing video games, needing that escapism during
okay.
a not
One of
so
the things that
fun-
is kind of funny though is that like he outed himself as working for fucking Arrowhead. And he seems like a pretty competent guy, so maybe, but I feel like you kind of dox yourself there and you shouldn't have said that you work for Arrowhead. Also, I think the blur that he used is also one that's easily deciphered.
upbringing, but even if I didn't, I still believe in basic consumer rights. A publisher shouldn't have the ultimate decision to permanently take it out of existence just because it's not as profitable to the shareholders anymore. And I wish to believe most people share that ideology.
Well, I guess the thing there is that it's not just not profitable to the shareholders anymore, it's not profitable to like anyone.
Including Pirate Software.
It's incredibly important to me that we keep making games and that the next generation has the tools to do so their medium doesn't die out. And it never will. And that's the whole intention of all of this.
Of course he does. He's such a good guy. Wait, he said what 5 seconds later?
This is shit. It's shit. Oh shit, no, this is actually really dumb. That's awful, dude. Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then.
But why? Thor not just criticizes, but bashes and demonizes Stop Killing Games.
As you can
Fucking
imagine,
crazy.
we've been less than thrilled that Thor here has become the dominant voice of the campaign.
And I wouldn't have such a problem with that if the majority wasn't straight up misinformation and there wasn't such a conflict of interest. See, the initiative wishes to
there
see
is
that
a huge
any
conflict
game
of
that
interest.
requires purchase or subscription fees and a server connection to remain playable.
One of the reasons I'm harping on that is because earlier I actually like completely misidentified that Rivals of Aether wasn't an online-only game. It isn't entirely, but it definitely like it's, you know, online maintained. It's got like the battle passes and shit like that, I think. And also to add on to all of that, I think Heartbound is also an online-only game, which is super weird. I think I was going through Chud was streaming it today or yesterday, And even Heartbound requires like some online save stuff. That might just be like Steam cloud saving. Chud wasn't super like, he's not super well versed in all this stuff. But it was super odd.
After a company shuts down their server. This self-evidently includes live service games, which are games that continuously receive new content to keep higher player retention, multiplayer games, and amongst other categories, single-player games who now often, because companies hate us, require a constant or with interval server connection as anti-piracy measure, which we call a DRM. Damn you, Hello Kitty Island Adventure. So when
maybe it's not Chud, maybe it's Soggy Cereal. Oh, look at that. I very intelligent because I worked at Blizzard for, what does that say? 9 years? 39 years? What does that say? 7 years.
Things like,
For those who don't understand,
Also, look, I'll be real. I do like the concept of live service games. I just don't think a lot of them are like done super well. I love the idea that I can play a game and that there will be new shit for me every like couple of weeks. That's really cool. And like my only issue with like a game like Helldivers, for example, is that it feels like the content just doesn't come quick enough, and that whenever it does, it's just like too small in portions. So it's like, well, I don't want to wait a week for this. I want to wait like a couple months for the new thing in Oh, okay, that was just weird. I have to wait like a couple months for something new in Helldivers 2. Like World of Warcraft, and it's really weird. The MMO that I played the most was like WildStar and Knights of the Old Republic, which are like almost like self-contained RPGs. I don't think you need a huge amount of new content for those specifically. But like, I'm fucking stupid. The other MMO that I played the most was like a D&D one. It was like Eberron Online or Eberron Unlimited, something like that. Sorry, I'm getting like tongue-tied a little bit. And it does receive new content pretty often. Live service is like a cool concept.
the Stop Killing Games initiatives is basically, we don't want single player games to have DRM that the developers can turn off and thus render the single player games inactive anymore. This is what they want to change.
Or
and a lot of
It is
people like
vague.
Fortnite
They need to
and
be
Destiny.
specific that they're talking about single player games that do not need a server to support them.
misrepresenting to his millions of viewers that the initiative's language was too vague, that actually they're only referring to single-player games with online DRM, which they aren't. That with this vague language, it would ruin live service games.
Would have to sunset live service games as a single player experience. The idea that suddenly you need to make every
Wait, would
single
you?
live service game playable single player offline? No, dude.
Correct. No.
Even though Stop Killing Games founder Ross Scott disproved that claim, Pirate Software are going as far as saying what the initiative is asking is so fucking stupid and outrageous, it made him angry like a little tiny toddler.
That video made me actually mad. Like real mad. Not like fake memes mad, like actually mad. Like, I'm actually mad.
To the point he said he wasn't just not gonna back it, he was actively going to boycott this consumer right.
That was fucking insane.
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Like, he wasn't just disagreeing with it, but he was like preaching. Well, I don't think he did that much. He might have done in that spot that, because Ross Scott found like a time period where my brain, dude. Ross Scott found like a period of time where Pirate Software took down his videos. So he might have like disavowed it a lot there. But otherwise, I think it was kind of obscure to how much boycotting and like advocacy against it that Pirate Software actually did.
So, people wondered why he'd do that? I mean, even Ross was interested in having a conversation about it and left a comment on Pirate Software's video to correct the misinformation he was spreading. His comment got deleted and the request for a conversation denied.
I reached out to him.
Would you consider reaching out and talking to Ross about it? No. And the reason why is because I found his entire statement over over the YouTube, incredibly disingenuous. It's used car salesman garbage.
Yes, Thor, Ross Scott, the average used car salesman who spends months to fight for consumer rights for free. I've seen him say some dumb, pretentious shit, but knowing
That is actually super weird now that he says that, is because Ross Scott literally gains nothing. He actually loses a lot from doing this. Ross Scott fucking isn't making like really good monetizable videos. I have premium. I'm a slave. But I don't think Ross Scott even has that much money from doing all this shit. He might have gotten a few donors, but he lost a lot of money just out of pocket doing a lot of this stuff. So I feel like this is like the exact opposite.
Doesn't even take donations. Its founder being on YouTube even before it was profitable and has been advocating against killing games for at least 6 years makes this one of the dumbest. See, but Thor works as a strategy director at a publishing company called Off-Brand Games, and a publisher's goal is usually not to create or develop a product, but to make sure sales are as high as possible and that the product is profitable. Now, at the time the initiative launched, well, Rivals of Ether 2 was in development with Off-Brand Games as its publisher.
So to a degree, I actually think a lot of publishers don't take enough like notice of their stuff, and Pirate Software is probably in like one of the, like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know anything about this guy anymore, so maybe he doesn't, maybe he does, I have no idea. But part of making something successful, or sure that something is successful, is making sure that it's good. So Pirate Software might take like a bigger interest in something like that, but yeah, most publishers don't take enough interest and are like fine with throwing out something bad.
Rivals of Aether is a live service game, so when Thor said this...
If we don't like the idea of live service games as a whole, I get it. It would impact every live service game that exists.
Well, people noticed he was acutely aware of the possible hurdles a game he's helping publish might face if regulation laws were introduced. So trying to entirely twist the initiative's message...
It is vague.
And kill it...
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
And completely discredit Ross...
It's used car salesman garbage.
Could be seen as beneficial for him.
What the fuck is this gun? It's like a mix of an M14 and a Lee Enfield. What the fuck?
Just trying to get this initiative passed. If that means I have to get insulted all along the way, okay.
This shit sucks. Eat my entire ass.
I'd recommend watching Ross's video if you want more details on just how far Pirate Software went to boycott this entire thing. But what makes me angry most of all is firstly how after all this came to light, he still quadrupled down on most of what he said, even though he was disproven multiple times. Then started banning and blocking anyone even slightly critiquing him. But also how he tried to guide
it's all harassment to Thor.
A selfless hero.
Everything is harassment.
This is the real one. I don't want the government telling indies that they have to have their live service game.
Oh, this was hilarious. Is this in the video? I don't remember. But I know, fuck, I actually don't know who covered it. I think it was Chud, though. Oh, man. Where Thor actually said, like, he's happy that the Chinese are implementing some methods to, like, reduce gambling. And that was, like, fucking crazy to me. Him saying, like, I don't want government anywhere near games. And then he's like, actually, I'm fine with the Chinese making games, like, less predatory. And it's like, that's what this entire fucking thing is about, is making things less predatory for people.
Stay online forever. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. But when you're talking about a legal setting to force people to do this, you're generally moving in that direction.
He just doesn't want indie developers experiencing legal trouble. Which is very ironic coming from the guy who, unbeknownst to most, threatened to sue a solo indie developer.
Hey, Kronos, we have to file a legal complaint against that dude earlier. We're going to take you to court.
Okay, this is a bit of a problem. He didn't actually threaten to sue him or have like any like legal court case against him. He just got his British lawyer, British law by the by, British lawyer to like intimidate fucking private parts. It was super fucking weird and like honestly kind of evil. Like, what the fuck kind of even case do you have? He actually got the game taken off of Steam. It's on now. I think you can buy it. I think it's called like Streamer Simulator or something. I don't know. And Pirate's voice lines actually managed to get into the game, so I think that's a pretty good win for Private Parts.
You're going to lose.
Maybe I should talk about that for a second. As many of you may know, a few months ago, a group of content creators formed a guild called OnlyFangs in World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore, a game where if you die on a character, you lose that character permanently. Pirate Software was part of this guild, playing as a mage. Now, not only was he known for pretentiously mocking new players,
Oh, you know
and
what? There's a
bullying
lot of
other
text
mages
in
the
this,
guild,
and I said that I would. I need to switch these around. There we
far as to say watching them play made him physically sick because obviously he's not like the other stinky noobs. He is best player out there, cause...
You know what I did before this? I worked at Blizzard Entertainment.
Okay, well at one point when he and his teammates were streaming and got themselves in a dangerous situation, most of the team tried helping each other survive, while Thor, you know, the guy constantly boasting his hitherto undreamt of skills,
The call was made to run, so I ran.
ran away and said there was nothing he could do.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look
This
at
is
my mana.
savage, but come on, man.
Do you see my mana? What am I supposed to do for you?
Now, I'm not nearly unemployed enough to care about any of that. It's what happened afterwards that started showing his true character. He was caught lying about his resources, actively wasting them while running away, so he could then claim that there was nothing he could do. And then when confronted, even though there was video proof, still lied about it, blamed everyone but himself, became extremely hostile towards anyone critiquing him.
Because they're goddamn insane. Because this guild has turned into a content guild built on hate. Because they're freaking monsters.
This is one of the excuses that I hate the fucking most on like almost any fucking from any content creator is like pretending that what you're doing right now is not in the pursuit of creating content. Like ever. And like getting on other people's asses for creating content about you whenever like almost the entire point of any kind of organization around content is creating more content. It's so fucking stupid to me. And I like it's disgusting. It's fucking gross that people fucking do that. It's the fucking worst.
Monsters, dude.
Again, banning and blocking people left and right. Even in debates with team members, he would make everyone respectfully listen to his side.
Happy Independence Eve. I'm hearing fireworks, so you'll probably hear them if my mic picks them up.
But then from the moment other members wanted to share their perspective, left the call like a little child.
Yell over another person like you were doing earlier? Nah, I'm good.
You...
See ya.
He eventually got kicked out of the content creator guild, not because...
That was crazy, because I remember Tyler1 and a few other people there fucking, like, defended the fuck out of Pirate Software. And were like, look, they made the call to Rand. What else was he supposed to do? And I think that was, like, that was like a business maneuver. As weird as that sounds, I think it was like a business maneuver to try to keep Pirate Software in. I don't know. And it didn't work because Pirate Software's BB.
Because he made a mistake, no one really cared about that. But because just as with Stop Killing Games, he went in acting as a person with the most skill and authority, ended up shitting the bed, then kept lying to try save grace, and when exposed, acted like a fragile ego toddler getting reprimanded for sticking crayons up his nose, then angrily insisted the adults around him put them there.
Good sketch.
Anyways, getting to the lawsuit thread, at the time, an indie developer was working on a simple parody game ridiculing embarrassing streamer moments, such as a Pokimane for streamer cookies controversy, or XQC for being XQC.
Yeah.
An uploaded recording of his game on Reddit, including Pirate Software as a cockroach.
As much as you're angry right now, of course I
So is he going to explain the history behind that? There's a World of Warcraft term for people who like save themselves, and it's called a roach. And they the wiki, the World of Warcraft wiki replaced the picture for Roach with a photo of Pirate Software.
Which in the World of Warcraft community refers to players desperately scurrying away instead of helping their team whenever danger is around. Now, up until that point, no streamer
so he
had
did like
made
halfway.
any issue of this game existing. And it definitely wasn't going to be the big
off.
supporter of indie game developers who desperately fought the evil consumer rights initiative Stop Killing Games to prevent indies from imaginary legal repercussions, right? He falsely DMCA'd the game, which is similar to copyright striking on YouTube, meaning it got taken off of the Steam game store.
Well, so
Why?
YouTube has
Yes?
DMCA
Well, Thor would
claiming.
likely
You
give
can
an elaborate
DMCA claim on
explanation about
YouTube.
how using his voice from stream clips infringes on his copyright.
And said that he was using my voice in a video game, showed a bunch of videos of it, and then put that game up on Steam. Cannot use somebody's likeness or voice in any way inside of your games without their permission.
And he'd probably be correct.
That is
Problem
absolutely not
being
true,
that
actually.
those voice lines weren't in the published game. The developer just screen recorded on his own PC as
It
a
is,
joke. So the developer reached out
semi-true.
to Thor clarifying this and then asking if he could drop the false DMCA on his game. So obviously Thor did the most kind-hearted and sensible thing.
We're going to take you to court. You're going to lose.
Jesus Christ. This
Yeah,
legal
Kronos,
abuse-
his fucking British lawyer, is going to sue fucking Private Parts. Yeah, great idea, Buster. Oh.
Who's ended up pissing off an actual lawyer who then took the case to fight Pirate Software's false claim for free of charge. Which, there's an entire Substack with more details. I'll put it in the description if you're interested. But the situation basically ended as we're now used to, with Thor lying, doubling down, deflecting, and blocking any criticism until he finally dropped the DMCA. He lied about his EVE Online skills to make himself look better, deleting any comments debunking them. He lied about TV show Mr. Robot to go viral. Again, deleting
Oh
the
yeah,
comments
that
question-
was something. People don't bring that up a lot. That was another controversy that I missed out on whenever I was going through them. Pirate Software like devised a puzzle or something. I don't recall the exact details of it, but he devised some puzzle and he claimed that Mr. Robot fucking stole it because something like extremely similar was used whenever they were actually probably devised at around the same time, I think.
His claims. He abuses his huge audience to match report players he dislikes.
He began assaulting lobby caravans and threatening to get solo players banned who lashed out at him when he zerged their caravans with 40 players.
Oh, hey, wait, this guy's gonna get banned from the video game. I'm gonna report the shit out of this guy.
Tech, there's allegations with proof. He even
Wait,
fakes his
I need to hear
voice
that
sound
again.
Deeper.
Was he fucking attacking low-level players? Was he like a PvP asshole?
Himself look better, deleting any comments debunking them. He lied about TV show Mr. Robot to go viral. Again, deleting the comments questioning his claims. He abuses his huge audience to match report players he dislikes.
He began assaulting lobby caravans and threatening to get solo players banned who lashed out at him when he zerged their caravans with 40 players.
Oh, hey, wait.
Whoa, so he... Okay. I think I might be misunderstanding this. So he was attacking... like newbie players and then getting mad whenever he was doing like the same thing and he was threatening to ban them. What the fuck is wrong with him? Or I'm misinterpreting and what's actually being said is he was definitely assaulting caravans, right? That's what he said. And then he was reporting people who tried to stop him. Either one fucking sucks.
Wait, this guy's gonna get banned from the video game. I'm gonna report the shit out of this guy.
Tech, there's allegations with proof. He even fakes his voice to sound deeper.
It's our first time out here at Denver Comic Con, and there's so many people, and they love the games.
I have
This is
heard
complete
this.
garbage. All of this can eat shit then.
He
This is
keeps
complete
lying
garbage.
To make himself
We can
look
all just
better.
eat shit
What are
then.
you, the Elon Musk of Twitch? Why does he think he can keep doing this? Why does he get to enforce his elitist thoughts as undisputed facts throughout the online game dev community?
I worked at Blizzard for 7 years.
Yes, we know, but that doesn't give you the right to...
I've been in the gaming industry for about 20 years. I used to work at Blizzard
I
Entertainment.
said we know. Although you never really were a game developer there, were
True.
you? See, he got into Blizzard through nepotism.
Soggy Cereal did what I am not willing to do. He went through a bunch of clips of Pirate Software's No, he posts like 2 or 3 clips a fucking day.
Because his dad had an important role there.
My dad is the WoW guy from South Park. He was the cinematic director for Blizzard for 23 years.
And half his time there was spent as QA or test engineer, meaning he wasn't a game dev. No, he tested what the game developers made. And then the rest of his career there focused on cybersecurity. Again, not game development. They are two entirely different ways of working, and I can see that because for someone constantly critiquing others, his code, while potentially good in other roles, is fucking terrible for game development.
Yes,
That's probably
absolutely. I totally agree. Well, okay. Wait. I should rephrase that. Because I'm not like a full coder. I don't know what other people's code bases look like. So I have no room to judge. I didn't go through a computer. I didn't go through a game dev course. I went through a computer science course. But like even then, his stuff is super messy and kind of basic.
Main reason his Kickstarter game is now so delayed, people are now asking for refunds. And I'm not saying that any of those jobs are less important than that of a game dev. I have friends in cybersecurity and I would not know how to do their job. And QA is crucial and often sadly looked down upon, because frankly, a lot of people in the game dev industry are elitist. Which is why I made this video, because I hate the elitist rhetoric Thor spews. It brings me back to my time studying for my game dev bachelor's in university, where so many students would act kind but then use bragging, lies or insults to fabricate authority over you and make everyone around them feel inferior. Third years would degrade first years. Even teachers would support the idea of looking down on students studying in IT fields outside of game development. And I fucking hated it. That made me develop imposter syndrome. So I couldn't stand seeing a popular streamer normalize this behavior, because it shouldn't be. It's already so common that my recruiter at Arrowhead Game Studios told me he screened me for it, because if they don't, they'll often recruit ego trippers like that, incapable of dealing with criticism, who are unable to function in a team setting so often that they gave them the nickname Brilliant Dicks.
That's actually one of the things that I suspect is like I'm like one of the reasons is one of the reasons that I can't get into the game industry, is because they do have like a super weird culture where it does feel like you have to have like gone through game development stuff, which is fair. Like, let's be real, there is like a lot of skills you get exclusively from game development, so I can kind of understand that. But I'm trying to break in and I can't because I'm stupid. Probably a little bit actually, but like it has always been a bit of a mystery to me. This is kind of the signals why, I think.
Because they act brilliant, but really they're just dicks.
That's awful, dude. No. Eat my entire ass.
Just know that if you were like me on the receiving end of such individuals and ended up feeling inferior because of it, try to ignore them and focus on proving them wrong. I didn't know jack shit about game development or programming at the start of my bachelor's, yet at the end, I ended up completing challenges that they couldn't, because instead of learning from the people around them, they were too busy sniffing their own farts. Can I confidently say that Thor is a confirmed narcissist? No, because I don't have a psychology degree to back it up. What I can say, however, is that while Thor might believe the delusion that he's some uniquely gifted genius deserving to look down on everyone around him, well, for me, he's just another brilliant dick.
I can see how easy it is to manipulate people emotionally to gain money on the internet.
Yeah,
Don't ever even want to get near that.
Dude, that's fucking crazy that he would say something like that. He's the fucking manipulator. Also, like, let's be real, that's a lot of what like content creation is. That's a lot of like, well, that Holmes. Okay. That's a lot of what content creation is a lot of people, and some people are able to surpass it. A lot of people are just like manipulating others to give them money. I think that's something to a degree isn't completely unreasonable if you're like, okay, if you're poor and you have like a really hard time getting a job, but you already have like a 20K view YouTube channel, and you're like, guys, I'm about to lose my home, I really need money. Yeah, I know it was super fucking stupid. but can I get some? Like, that's like not unreasonable. That's stupid. You shouldn't do it. But like, I get why you would do that, and I don't like completely hate it. Just mostly. Versus, I don't even know. I don't think Pirate Software does manipulate his people a huge amount, but it feels like it's almost like Insidious, where it's like, guys, I'm a poor little indie dev. I'm a poor little indie dev, and I'm making my Undertale clone, but it's not an Undertale clone. If you call it that, I'm suing you. I'm making my poor little game, and I'm helping other people make their poor little games, and I also run a ferret rescue. And you should, you know, I'm not manipulating you, but, you know, I do rely on your donations. It's just super weird. Also, what's super weird is I feel like a lot of people give up the ghost on that, where it's like, and Pirate Software sort of did it too, where he said that he only takes $7.25 an hour from being a producer of strategy at off-brand games. Also, why do they need it? Ludwig is there. Instead, he's like begging for donations on Twitch and YouTube because it makes him more money.
Go working at off-brand games.
Oh, it played the. Oh right, This is the end. Actually, that's the end of the Pirate Software stuff. I thought there was still more. But yeah, Pirate Software kind of sucks. I don't know. It just like after all this information, I really feel like Pirate Software is like done for. I can see him having like something of like a fan base after this, but for the most part, it like, dude, this fucking sucks. I don't know how he's going to recover if he does. Because this is like a ginormous disaster. Why is India a major power and Russia a regional? Lamau? I don't know. I mean, it is Millennium Dawn, right? Aren't powers considered by GDP or something? Okay. So, that was Pirate Software. He sucks. He's misinformed and misinforms other people. Wait, I have a group? Oh, that is. A group of text documents. So now we're on to the Ludwig drama. So our first is actually going to be Tectone, Techie himself. Because I think he is the biggest person covering this. Not the biggest. But he covered it first as the largest.
Hey, YouTube, what's going on?
This is not going to be super informative because a lot of Tectone stuff is like word salad. To be fair, mine is too. Let's see what he has to say.
Today is actually going to be a little bit different from my normal videos. Unfortunately, a content creator by the name of Ludwig has invoked my name.
Oh, also personal bias. I don't like Ludwig. I think Ludwig fucking sucks. Honestly, it started out as what I think is like completely unreasonable dislike. I just disliked him. I just thought he looked kind of like a dick. And then he just like unreasonably defends a lot of people, and his responses are usually pretty shitty. And I like, you know, my bias. I don't like that he hangs out with Hassan too much, but I never really hated him. I was just kind of like, I just didn't like him very much. But my unreasonable dislike of him has proven to be accurate through this situation. Aha, I'm such a foreteller.
And Ludwig has enough viewers where I'll actually give a fuck. Because blasting me in front of that many people, well, obviously I gotta say something, right? Obviously I gotta say something. So we're gonna say something. Now, I would like to pretense this. I know there's a lot of people who don't like Ludwig right now. I know that that's how it is. And I know for me, it's very beneficial for me to say, oh, I fucking hate Ludwig. The guy's a piece of shit. The guy's a rat. And to be honest, I did say the rat, but that's just for clickbait. That's just for views. You know how that goes. To be completely honest, I was actually
I do think he's a rat. I totally do think Ludwig's a rat because he's like, oh, this is these guys are just trying to farm content off of me, when that's like literally all Ludwig does. He just like gets fucking people together to farm content off of them. It's super weird. He does the same criticism where he's like, man, why are people, I can't believe people are making fucking content out of my mistakes. And it's like, bro, you just held a fucking drinking party with a ton of people. You're literally making content off of hoping that people make mistakes.
I think he's honestly a pretty okay guy. Not really as much as he used to be, but honestly, I got no issues with the guy. But recently, I did a little bit of calling him out. I did a little bit of calling him out because the events that occurred on his stream made me a little bit sick. They made me a little bit upset. And it shook me to my core. And the reason why it bothered me so much is due to the fact that I had that pre-existing respect for Ludwig, that pre-existing affinity
I didn't.
for Ludwig.
I did not have that
used to steal the guy's
pre-existing
thumbnails and
respect for
titles.
Ludwig.
Absolutely, I 100% did. I used to consume his content all the time. I watched that whole damn subathon when he was sleeping in that race car bed. And I think a lot of people are currently disappointed in Ludwig's actions. And the fact that he won't take accountability for them is honestly quite disheartening.
He's definitely not taking as much as he ought to be.
I'm going to show you the call out. The reason why I'm making this video, I was going to make one and leave it alone because I don't really consider Ludwig a threat to the streaming space like I do other people that I frequently make content on. I'm not a guy who wants drama with anybody and everybody.
Tectone is relevant.
I never want to be that
he is
drama
relevant
at all.
to this
I
situation.
just
We'll
want
get
to
into why
correct
later.
the bully's behavior in this space, which is why I like calling out all of the problematic people, the people giving people false accusations, false allegations, promoting terrorism, saying horrific things about people's dead relatives, implying that people are criminals on baseless claims. Those are the people.
So he's talking about Hassan, obviously.
However, Ludwig was.
I guess it's not obvious,
very
or else I wouldn't have had to
small
point
man,
it out. But if you're not familiar with Tectone stuff, he's talking about Hassan.
Yesterday. So let's go ahead and talk about it. And I want to make this very clear. Ludwig, if you do see this, and this does hurt your feelings, I mean, I guess it is what it is. I want to let you know,
fuck
I'm
me.
not
I was
sitting
doing
here
good.
talking about false accusations. I'm not sitting here talking about false allegations. I'm not doing anything speculative. What I am doing right now is I'm doing a thorough breakdown on objectively what you did that is on stream that is proven by your own actions. If you want to make a follow-up video shit talking me, you're more than welcome to. If you want to make a video talking about all of the horrible shit that everybody fucking does that's been pulled out of their ass, you're more than welcome to. You want to stay away from drama, and sure, I don't know if Hassan will approve of you making that video, but if you do...
I mean, that's another thing, right? That was a big thing in God, see, I'm able to bring up everything from memory. There was a video that Ludwig made that was like slightly critical of Hassan, and then Hassan was like, hey, did you like pull that part about me down? And then Ludwig fucking did. I don't think that's exactly how it went down. I don't remember if it was a segment of a video or an entire video, but it was like really shitty of him to do that. Whenever, like, I don't know. It was just like, it came off as like he was doing something that was viewed as like probably pretty good, except for by Hassan specifically. And then was like, actually, I like Hassan more.
Get your daddy's permission, then sure, go ahead, you can do that. That's a little bit of a joke. I know that probably pissed you off. But let's go ahead and get into this shit right now.
It did.
So,
it really
last night,
pissed him
Ludwig
off,
goes
actually.
live with CDawg VA. He goes ahead and he says this.
It's actually one of my greatest pleasures.
Now, I would like to pretense this with CDawg VA is currently 1-3. They're losing very hard.
1-3? What the fuck? How are you even bad at League of Legends, dude?
Miserable as fuck.
Are they like
well
playing like high ranked or something?
Which means they're most likely on suicide watch enough as it is. I don't know how much money you would have to pay me to play League of Legends on stream. Jesus Christ, haven't done that in years. But usually this is how you know someone has chronic clinical depression. Yeah, oh, you can't hear it? Great, let me pull up another clip then.
Enable game chat. It's actually one of my greatest pleasures that I get to die never having to speak to these people.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's like a Tectone video. I can die never watching one.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It sounds to me like somebody may or may not have watched my video. I know. Ludwig, the thing that's really a shame, and what I don't know if you'll actually believe me for, is that The original video was called Ludwig is a disgusting, filthy, lying rat. I, who have a conscience, just changed it to be Ludwig is a rat.
Yo,
and I think
so
you'd
true.
agree after watching this video that me calling you what you are isn't an insult. I'm trying to make you aware of your own actions, not things that I've speculated upon, but things that you have actually done. Not 4 years ago, not 5 years ago, 2 days ago, to one of your closest friends. Now, you expressed that you'd rather kill yourself than watch one of my videos. Well, Ludwig, I have a feeling you sound a lot like somebody who's watched one of my videos. And by the way, if you're here watching my video right now, make sure to press like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for all notifications.
Yo, so true, guys. Let's go. Fuck off. Fuck me, dude.
It's a good life. It's a good life that I get.
I know. C-Dog being a bro, backing up his homie, who's clearly tilted. You know what's really funny, Lud? Trash Taste, C-Dog, VA, Joey, Giga, they actually invited me on Trash Taste way back in the day. Do you know that Joey used to watch my content on Arknights every single day? I actually have a lot of respect for the Trash Taste crew, but I do think it was funny that C-Dog said so true. Obviously cheering on a good old buddy in League of Legends. Some people want me to be angry at that, but I just won't. I've met up with C-Dog and VA in real life. And
yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. I don't care. I do not care about like this random person. We're talking about Ludwig, okay? It's great that you used to be friends with this guy, or are still friends maybe. We're talking about Ludwig.
He was taking a little bit of shit talk at me. He hasn't really done anything fucked up, so I don't feel like the need to go in on him. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's keep going here. I don't really thrive for drama, and I hope that you.
Yeah, okay, buddy.
If I
Okay,
was,
buddy.
I would say, man, Ludwig and C-Dog VA, they really crossed the line, and now we're crashing out. Yeah, I'm just not really interested in doing that, Ludwig. This isn't me farming you for clicks. This is me showing a man who has fucked up. And we're now 7 minutes into this video. We're going to get in here even more. We're going to keep going here.
That's a really healthy life. It is. It is.
Great. So you said that you would rather kill yourself
what even fucking
than watch one
killed
of my
me?
videos, and that's not really cool to say.
Jesus.
So let me tell you why you had this very small, very petty little boy behavior on your stream. And that is because you are now facing the consequences of your own actions, where you have fucked up, and once again.
So is he going to ever explain what Ludwig actually did in this video, or does this rely entirely on like other contacts? Because I thought he would.
And I mean this genuinely, Ludwig. You completely butt fucked.
Because I watched his stream. I watched Tectone's stream on this situation. I must have missed this part. He is not fucking talking about it.
Now, I want to make this very clear. Did Mango fuck up? Absolutely. 100%.
Oh, I guess
Of course he did.
okay.
Everybody knows he did. And he is responsible for his own actions. Now, a lot of you guys, and this is the reason why I'm making this video, a lot of you guys say Ludwig is not resplesible for someone else's actions in his event.
We'll finish this section, then I'll summarize what
That a
happened.
lot of people say. Because play devil's advocate. A lot of you guys might think, well, that's Mango. It's not Ludwig's fault. He's not responsible for anybody else's actions. And for some people, you might agree. Some people might say no. Some people might say yes. Do you know who would disagree with that very take?
Ludwig.
Do you know who would disagree that you are not responsible for someone else's actions? Ludwig himself.
Yep.
And this is why we're talking about this here today. The only person responsible for someone's actions is the someone that did the action. If little Timmy sees a video of a guy eating a fuckload of Takis and faking domestic violence, and then eats a fuckload of Takis and slaps his crush, Timmy is responsible, not the other guy. I just said your argument is weak. Fight someone else in the comments. How is it weak, bro? Nobody is responsible.
Okay, whatever. I'm fucking done watching this. This was gibberish. Okay. So basically what happened, in the next video we'll also go over it. Ludwig hosted a party. Ludwig hosted a big party where people like literally drunk drove in Mario Kart. And they I mean that's it. The goal was to drink as much as possible and then drive in Mario Kart. That was it. That's the goal. So one of the people that Ludwig brought to the party was a alcoholic, was a major, massive alcoholic. I'm unclear on their history with alcohol exactly, but they drank the most, the fastest, and they were also explicitly told at the start to not drink. Now, oh, excuse me. Bringing an alcoholic to an open bar and then telling them to not drink is like insane behavior. Absolutely deranged behavior. What the fuck are you thinking? That's like a fish tank challenge. And then like the actual goal is for them to get as drunk as possible. That's like a mischievous fucking thing to do. So Ludwig, a part of this, and I don't know, I don't think Tectone does a good job of harping on it, is that Ludwig is like a huge fucking hypocrite, okay? Because a lot of this situation is blaming Mango, is, well, he doesn't do it specifically, but he's definitely not helping Mango. And Ludwig also believes that the responsibility of an audience or of a person you are influencing, because he's an influencer, the responsibility of the influencer or of the audience relies on the influencer. So that's the point that's being made here, but Tectone I think does not a great job of explaining it. I'm not gonna listen to 14 more minutes of this if that's what's happening. We're gonna skip to the next video. And Ludwig is basically like kind of crashing out in a way, not like entirely, but he's definitely thinking about it a lot more than he ought to be. He's got more business stuff to attend to, and instead of focusing on it, and instead of focusing on whatever like the task that's on hand, he's thinking a lot about this guy who he got insanely drunk at a party. And the problem with it is like, oh, he got drunk was the problem. Oh my god, I'm yawning. The problem is that Mango started sexually harassing the women there. Mango started like air humping them. He got like almost naked. And just like a bunch of other like unpleasant stuff that you wouldn't want towards like an official party of the nobility of Twitch. Oh, sorry. So we're gonna skip to the Pyrocynical video because Pyrocynical covered this. Here we go.
I think he might be.
So I do have the fortune that my girlfriend is a nurse. So if I'm ever on the ground dying, she will resuscitate me. I asked her if like 0.32 is actually a bad thing because a lot of people have just been referencing Google about this. So 0.32 alcohol blood level, the danger of that is heavily dependent on the weight of the person. So a super thin person, talking like, let's say like 5'8" and like 150, 160 pounds, that's horrific. That's like kidney failure level. Talking about like a 6-foot person at like 250, it's not that bad. Because the way that like it gets calculated, it's not like directly correlated to the body weight. It's more about how you drank, how much you've drank. So like percentage wise, is that like dangerous to him? Maybe not. It is still very fucking drunk.
An alcoholic.
The Ludwig situation is sad. The Ludwig situation is terrible. I'm probably going to title the video something like that. Now, Ludwig is no stranger to this channel. He needs no introduction. He's known for his streams and, more importantly, hosting these huge events which bring communities together. And one of those events that Ludwig hosted was Mario Kart. It's not a game he invented himself, but more a kind of like university drinking game. The exact rules aren't super relevant, but basically the quick rundown is get a bunch of streamers together, play Mario Kart, drink alcohol, all while it's being live streamed. You had the usual Twitch LA scene there. Connor Eats Pants, Valkyrie, Extra Emily.
I don't know who any of these people are, honestly, except for Extra Emily because of the police car thing. It's like on your left, bing bong, bing bong.
Competitive gamers, like for example, Nick Yingling, and also who this story is most focused on, Mango. My Mango is to blow up.
And act like I don't know nobody.
Don't tell nobody. Now, to give you a bit of context to who Mango is, because you've probably seen that name mentioned quite a lot recently, he's basically considered to be one of the best Smash Melee players of all time. Although, that being said, he does main Falco. Meta slap. Anyways, he's actually considered one of the 5 gods of the game. Now, this is a bit of old head lore, but during Melee, there was an era where there was basically 5 people, 5 chosen ones that dominated the entire scene. It's a really prestigious title. There were other creators, like for example, Armada, Mewtwo King, and most notably Hungrybox. So Mango, in that regard, he's a pretty big deal, especially to the unemployed. Now, with that said as well, though, Mango has, you know, enjoyed a drink or two quite a lot, actually building his entire personality around being the guy that drinks a lot. For example, there were clips of him drinking liquor from his Evo trophy, an Evo or Evolution Championship series that basically is the biggest Melee tournament that's held, and he's using his winnings to like drink from it. I mean, you know, he's celebrating, fair enough. And this pattern also continued for Beerio Kart, and during that he drank a ridiculous amount. I think by the time someone stepped in and actually cut him off, his blood alcohol was 0.32. At that point, you're likely suffering through alcohol poisoning. You could probably lose consciousness. Another 0.08 by the way for Mango, and he would have been in what is dubbed the death zone. And considering he racked up a 0.32 in the span of like 3 or 4 hours, that could be a real possibility. Although some people at the event actually denied that was the case, saying that the breathalyzers were faulty.
Real talk. The breathalyzers are not accurate. If you just had a bunch of alcohol, it spikes it way up. I blew a 0.3 earlier. I'm nowhere near that.
Your race doesn't define you.
I just want to point out
anything.
If Mango was actually
if you think your gender is what stops you from succeeding,
he is not actually at that level.
But it wasn't the fact that Mango drank too much. It was the actions he took while he was inebriated. Now, I know this is old news. We're going back about a week when this originally happened. The reason why I've kind of left it so long is because I feel like we're not really going to get any more updates on this now. Ludwig recently put out a little bit of a mini statement, which I'm going to go over later, but I kind of wanted to wait for everything to be out there before actually talking about this. There was one point where he went up to Extra Emily and Maya Higa and starts thrusting, dry humping. It's clear that Maya's like pretty uncomfortable, you know, looking around.
I gotta focus way too much on that baseball thing.
And there's no proof of this. There was other clips that weren't actually caught on camera of him being like, you know, touchy with other people. And a lot of people actually came out and expressed how uncomfortable they were with his actions.
He was just very, very drunk. I think he might be an alcoholic, and he was very touchy with a lot of people and also dry humping everybody. There's a clip. It was completely unacceptable.
Now, as you can imagine, for Mango, this didn't go very well. He was basically banned from a bunch of future events that Ludwig and the company Mogul Moves were hosting.
And I banned. Yeah, he got banned for like. I'm kind of debating whether that's reasonable or not. I think it would be absolutely reasonable to ban him from any events with alcohol, but that should have been done preemptively. And to have him here and then have like people are just never gonna want to fucking talk to him ever again because of this. It's like a disaster on his part. I think he definitely shares some responsibility in even like agreeing to be there. But in like the Twitch scene, why like you're not going to refuse a request from Ludwig? So it's kind of like I could get why he would want to be there even if he knew of his issue. Oh, excuse me. But like it's Ludwig. You're not going to refuse Ludwig, are you?
Banned him for my events because I felt I had to, because my girlfriend and my girlfriend's best friend Maya are in my room at 2 a.m. telling me that they felt really uncomfortable at my own event.
He was also banned off Twitch as well. And at the time of recording, which is about a week after all this happened, his account is still gone, which is really crazy. Again, just saying, if this was a woman, it would have been a 24-hour ban. But anyways, now I'm imagining that this is only a temporary ban. His account will come back at some point. But one of the worst things that probably could have happened to him was Cloud9, the esports team he was affiliated with, actually let him go, saying, following Following an internal evaluation, we've made the decision to release Mango from Cloud9 after becoming aware of the recent incident involving him. This is really sad. It's basically his entire livelihood gone. Far as I'm aware, his two main revenue streams were from Twitch and competitive gaming, and at the minute they're both gone. And Mango issued a statement saying that he's reaching out to the people he's affected to try and make it right, while also, you know, working on himself, going to rehab, trying to fix his relationship with alcohol. Now, the opinions on Mango have been really split here. A lot of people have said he's an alcoholic, disgusting, you should control yourself, it was no one's responsibility to take care of you. And then there are other people that are basically saying that what Ludwig and the event did was enable him because they were aware that he was like an alcoholic before.
I mean, it is absolutely both parties' faults, right? Mango should have known that he couldn't control himself around alcohol. I mean, maybe he didn't know. Maybe this is like the first time that he's had like a really bad alcoholic fuck up. But there was something that's really funny later in this video where fucking Mango's like, yes, I am now 1 day sober. And it's like, oh, that if that's a big achievement for you, ooh, that's you should have known not to come here if you have been drinking every single day and getting like heavily drunk.
I will get into it, but like with me personally, I've always found it really weird when people get invited to event stuff and they might have like a problem with like a certain drug or like a drinking problem, and then they're basically told you can join but just don't do the thing that you're an addict to, despite the fact that the vice is everywhere. You know, it's the equivalent of doing something in a casino and then inviting a gambling addict and then basically saying, but you can't gamble, you just, you know, you could do anything you want, just don't gamble. And then I know some people will turn on the cope being like, yeah, just don't gamble, just don't drink, it's so easy. And yeah, fair enough, but for some people, you know, especially if you're an addict, you're probably gonna have that
really
clawing feeling in the back of your brain constantly, you know, to the point where this isn't even fun because you're fighting this urge the entire time, this impulse, because your brain is so used to getting this release of dopamine constantly. You know, I'm not going to undermine addiction. I think no matter what addiction, it's an incredibly difficult thing to deal with, and sometimes it can be lifelong. By the way, I'm not giving Mango any kind of out.
But like, yeah, if you're told, hey, you should not drink here, where you're invited anyway and it's an open bar and everybody else has drinks, but don't drink here. So they already know that you're an alcoholic. They already know you've got a fucking problem. And they're inviting you because they think that you're fun, I guess? Or they didn't want to like diss you. But like either don't show up or like, I mean, I don't know. I really think that it's like a super fucked up situation whenever you get like invited to something that's like a really fucking big deal, right? You're getting invited to a Ludwig party. You don't want to get chewed out. You don't want to like dishonor the king of Twitch, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really fucked up situation for him to have been put in, and he should have known not to go. And being chewed out by Ludwig, or like not being invited to future events, is probably a better outcome than what actually happened with like harassing people. Well, it's definitely a better outcome.
Out here being like, well, it's really sad, he has a problem, it exonerates everything he's done. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know Mango personally, I've never spoke to the guy, but the fact that he reached out to everyone the next morning as well, I know for a fact that after the event he must have had the most deep-seated regret, that kind of biting your jaw kind of regret, waking up in the morning just feeling absolutely terrible. Now, why is the video about Ludwig when I was talking about Mango for the first 5 minutes? Because Ludwig brings in views, no one knows who Mango is, and more importantly, a lot of people have actually been pointing the finger at Ludwig, basically blaming him for this. One clip that everyone is using to cite their sources now and to go against Ludwig is this one clip where, you know, he's basically celebrating Mango hitting a new PB, personal best, for, you know, hitting a high score on the breathalyzer.
Yeah, getting as drunk as possible. In 20 minutes, by the way, he hits this point in I think like 25, 30 minutes. It's like really quick, like right after getting there.
Which is basically the thing the cops use to test your blood alcohol level.
What happened, Mutt?
Well, they don't have like drunk drivers because nobody drives in England, but like,
and
yeah.
then when Mango would get a high
I guess he does have to explain
would
that.
announce it and then put it onto the whiteboard, essentially giving.
Or because
Mango
his audience is
motivation
like
to,
primarily made up
keep
of
on
younger
drinking.
people.
Wait, no one's telling me to stop. people are
What the
actually
fuck?
congratulating me on like
What the
doing the
fuck
thing.
was that?
Oh, okay, I'm gonna keep doing it then. I mean, the thing is, the guy hits 0.14 20 minutes into the stream, and then there's a clip of Ludwig as well saying, "Let's get those numbers up."
Let's up those numbers!
Now, I have to be very careful with the words I choose next. If I defend Ludwig, I will be called a Hassan minion for the rest of my career. And if I go against Ludwig, I will be excommunicated from the LA Twitch scene. And there is basically a 0 chance I'll be invited to the very important and famous My Friends Awards.
The Streamer of the Year award is...
Yeah, what the hell?
Ludwig.
Whoa, the operator of the event got the
My
fucking
Friends
award.
Awards.
Whoa.
Maybe I'll get nominated as Rising Star in the My Friends Awards. Now, to be a Hassan minion, and
Dude, he's making so many disses and he's like, I don't want to do that, but he's like, Rising Star? Is that not a diss against Frogan? My Friends Awards? That's a huge diss against Ludwig. It's like, oh, well, maybe Pyro doesn't care in the end. He just still wants to be balanced.
Ludwig's, defense for a second. It's a little bit reductive to say that he was the only one encouraging Mango to drink. Like, for example, if you just look at this clip.
We got a new PB! Guys, Mango just blew a .25! He's got it home tonight! He's not actually driving home.
Ludwig is 100% orchestrating all of this, but they're still cheering Mango on. Now, one thing that I find really weird with these public events, and I've seen this time and time again, whenever there's like an IRL stream or some public stream, there are certain streamers that realize that things, they could be misconstrued. It could look bad for them. A great example in this clip as well, in this stream, is Valkyrie and Dog. You can tell they're very uncomfortable around this. I like to call this like self-preservation mode. It's almost like when a streamer realizes they're in a very bad situation, so they need to publicly make it apparent to the camera and to the world that they are not comfortable with this because they know that there is going to be some kind of drama that happens over the next couple of days and they want nothing to do with it.
Well, I also think part of it is, I mean, yeah, that's definitely a huge issue. I think another big part of it is that, like, that's the only way to get anybody to care is if you're, like, making it a public issue. Like, that's just how people, Oh, there's fucking minefields. That's like the only way that you're really gonna get someone like Ludwig's attention because he is such like a camera hog. He needs the limelight. Where if you are not making like a very big scene, you're not like trying to grab attention. Why does he care?
And as well, when Ludwig announces,
because honestly, maybe they even brought it up to Ludwig, and they're like, "Hey, this guy's like really not doing cool shit," and he just didn't care because it wasn't on camera. He's like, "All right," and the Twitch viewers know we have to make a big deal out of it. Are you happy now? That kind of thing.
PB, everyone cheers because, they kind of have to. If no one cheered and everyone was like openly uncomfortable about it, it would probably kill the entire vibe. Because at the same time, what a lot of people seem to get confused as well is this isn't a friends gathering. They want you to think it's a friends gathering, some cute little LAN party, but it's not. It's a public event. And these people, they know that they're on camera. They know they're being filmed. It's almost like you have to act a little bit in character, even if you don't feel fully comfortable doing so. I mean, yeah, if Ludwig said, okay, the alcoholic hit a new PB and no one cheered, I mean, that might have actually been a small moment of self-reflection. Now, I've also seen some people say online that Ludwig did not know about Mango's drinking problem, and because of that, he can't really be held accountable because how was he able to know that one person would
why was he told? Why was Mango told at the beginning to not drink? Right? If Ludwig didn't know, why did he tell Mango not to drink?
And start dry humping people. This is actually a point that Ludwig brought up in his initial statement, which I will get to in a second. However,
that's cover. That's cope.
Because in the first 7 minutes, Ludwig actually discusses that Mango usually drinks an excessive amount.
Mango's been practicing drinking beer for a week.
Okay, Mango is like an alcoholic. Mango can drink.
No way, he calls him an alcoholic. What the hell?
Off no beer.
What the hell?
He's a machine of a man.
He said he had 7 beers already today.
And also when discussing as well that the Asian women there can't actually drink as much, he uses Mango as an example of someone who can drink a lot.
There are a bunch of small Asian women, which he's right about that. And they can't drink as many beer as, the alcoholics like Yingo, me, and Mango.
So, as I mentioned earlier, Mango basically got himself banned from all future Ludwig events. In the stream recap as well.
I think, okay, if Ludwig knew that he was an alcoholic and we know he called him an alcoholic. He called himself an alcoholic, so maybe Ludwig didn't know to the extent that Mango was. Ludwig absolutely deserves some blame for what happened. I mean, to be fair, I'm not gonna watch it because I think it would be like bullshit. But there's a video between the cold ones and Ludwig. And they go out drinking and nothing bad happens. There's a couple icky pukers, and that's it. It's not like a big deal. And most times drinking, it's not. Like, I think 90% of like bad drink circumstances are because like one person has had one too many and kind of goes crazy. But it's usually like, even then, that's kind of rare. Like, you can have an alcoholic who is fine like 99 times, and then on the 100th time they drink alcohol, they go fucking nut. They go nutto, dude. That happens all the time. They like can't control themselves. They like suddenly stop getting the ability to. Or they become like a completely different person. And it's like, dude, that wasn't even you there. That was a monster. That was a demon inhabiting your body. Like the alcohol let it in. Something like that. So I guess I can kind of understand not being as worried as possible. But that still fucking sucks. You should have known not... I don't know. Because he's thinking that he's an alcoholic on the same level as... Like, Mango and Ludwig are on the same alcoholic level here, okay? So maybe in that sense I can kind of understand why he didn't think it was an issue. Oh, pardon me. Might need to go get a drink. I'm getting oh, it's also hot. I might need to turn on the fan. So I guess in that case, that's like better for Ludwig, because like if you bring 3 people and they all get massively drunk and one of them gets drunker than the rest, but they're all on like the same alcoholic level, sure. That's like way more understandable, I guess. But I still don't like it. I still really don't like it, especially because he like, whenever he's like, he definitely thinks Mango drinks more alcohol than him at this point. I think that was a horrible decision. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go take a break. Have a 5-minute break, everybody. I gotta use the bathroom. Gotta get a drink. I gotta turn on the. Alright, everybody, we're back. Gaming. I want to get on my video game soapbox for a minute. I've had like an incredibly difficult time finding games I actually like for more than like 10 minutes. Forgive Me Father 2 is like triggering me because I don't think it's as good as the first one so far. It's okay. Just not as good as the first. And I have to say, I have been loving Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader and Oxygen Not Included, I picked up on like a whim. I have put 42 hours into Oxygen, 45 hours into Oxygen Not Included, and 30 hours into Rogue Trader in like a week. The same week. I have been loving those fucking games. And now it pisses me off because I really liked Forgive Me Father 1. I was like, ooh, more Forgive Me Father 1, Forgive Me Father 2. And it feels a lot different actually. And all the Hoi 4 mods that I want to play haven't been getting updates. Black Ice got an update, but I'm still waiting on the air rework. And feels like World Ablaze is never done. Right now, they're working on their air rework for Minor Nations. But I also don't like how difficult playing as Germany is. Or the Axis in general, I guess. Black Ice is fun as every nation except for the Soviets. Okay.
He also makes some points to not kind of excuse his behavior, but also gives an explanation for it. For example, this is the third time that Ludwig has hosted Birrio Kart, and Mango apparently attended 2 in the past, and he didn't really think this would be any different from previous events. He also noted in the last hour of the stream, Mango did actually get cut off from having anything more to drink.
Oh, also a couple more things. We did cut off Mango on alcohol about an hour before stream ended, but I mean, he went into it really drunk.
Although at that point, he basically already had way too much than what was considered healthy. And he did actually...
So also another thing is, your blood alcohol content, I think, is also affected by how much you've eaten. So if food there was important, you need like heavy carby food to absorb alcohol. That's why you usually see chips and nuts at bars, is to like help prevent you from getting drunk, because the point of a bar isn't to get drunk, it's to hang out with people typically. Chips have a lot of carbs. They're like almost entirely carbs because it's just like oil or whatever. And or they're like, you know, potatoes, corn, whatever. And nuts have a lot of fat, which helps absorb shit. Which aren't good for you, but they do help prevent getting drunk.
Apologize for cheering on Mango's breathalyzer results.
And
also, something that we're not seeing here, Paracynical pointed it out, but apparently there's been 2 other Mario Kart competitions that he was fine at. I would like it if Pyro had done a little more research and showed me that, because that's something I'm interested in seeing, is if he was a problem at those, or if he was actually like, he was a problem at those and they just like recycle the women. Essentially, they get different women every single time, because I imagine at the last one, like, I'm trying to think about women who were relevant like 3 or 4 years ago. Because I don't, maybe Extra Emily was there. I doubt it. I think her rise was mostly in the last 2 or 3 years. And I imagine Minx was there, so she's like the dangerous alcoholic there. And I don't know.
Also, personally apologize. I
Would have been nice to see
very
more.
Cringy now, but I was like applauding like him getting new PBs with his blood alcohol, which is like, you know, super poor taste, especially on hindsight. Obviously, that wasn't the intention. The intention is like similar to when we did the Doug challenge with alcohol, where we're getting new PBs on the breathalyzers. You definitely.
Wait, what? Wait. Wait. Is Ludwig just being a complete rat? Let me hear that again.
I was like applauding like him getting new PBs with his blood alcohol, which is like, you know, super poor taste, especially on hindsight. Obviously, that wasn't the intention.
That wasn't the
is, like,
intention.
similar to when we did.
The intention was similar to Doug,
alcohol, where we're getting new PBs.
where you're getting new PBs.
It definitely looks way different on hindsight.
Oh my god. So it was the intention. You just fucking lied and you just sounded sad so nobody believes you. Dude. What a rat. What a fucking rat. Unless Pyro like manipulated how this looks, because there was a cut there. What a rat.
Now, what Ludwig did, was it stupid? Was it reckless? 100%. I mean, the one clip from that stream that I still absolutely cringe at is Valkyrie almost kind of self-preservating by, you know, just saying out loud, are we enabling this? You know, almost to make it apparent that she's uncomfortable, so stream picks up on it, so she's not roped into the drama. And Ludwig just kind of pretends he didn't hear it and just keeps going. It's really fucking awkward. I'm not gonna lie. But again, that is what happens on these streams. They're not scripted. Anything can happen.
He's the two-time champion. He's never lost.
I think people that drink, they've always had that one time where they've done something really stupid or regrettable. The only difference is here, it's a live stream, so it's going to be documented for the rest of eternity. Now, I've seen loads of people, like for example, Tectone go off on Ludwig, calling him spineless rat bastard and a Hassan minion. I'm sorry, like...
He is a rat bastard. I do think he's a rat bastard. A Hassan minion? I think he is. That's just not relevant to this right now. I think Ludwig does like cope for Hassan a lot, or like not cope. What's the word? He does like cover for Hassan a lot, and I don't like it very much.
He blames everything on Mango. Absolute spineless rat bastard. And now we know why he's another Hassan minion.
I don't even watch Tectone. I don't, but like just the Hassan minion comment, I don't
know.
There's
Well,
something so
yeah.
funny about that.
So he's not going to
funny because
understand
it
why
literally
he's
has
making that
nothing
comment.
to do with anything being mentioned here.
That
You
is
are
true, though.
basically-
That is
you're
absolutely
withdrawing
true,
rent to
though.
make a deposit on another apartment. I mean, this video isn't even an attack on Ludwig. I think personally he dealt with this pretty well in the moment.
Oh,
when
no.
he was probably
I don't
drunk,
think he
dealt
did
with it
at all.
like a moron. But you know, he cleaned up fairly well. He addressed it on stream. Didn't try to hide it.
I think Pyro's issue is his like ADD to a degree, where like he would probably understand situations a lot more and give like 5% better takes. Oh god, hi. If he like was able to investigate a lot more, I think. But it's also not super important because he's just trying to get like the basic information out there. And it is funny. It is like completely irrelevant that like Ludwig dick sucks Hassan. There's no point in like bringing that up, but Tectone hates him. But the thing is, and like I said, this would make Pyro's thing a little bit better. Tectone does like 5 or 6 hour streams, and like half of it is making videos, or I think at least an hour of it is like making videos. So what he'll do is he'll give like the starting lines for a script. He'll be like, hey, what's up everybody? Tectone coming right at you, and today I've got something for you. We've got Ludwig dick-sucking Hassan, Diddy, Destiny Orbiter Piker, something like that. And then at the end it'll be like, all right guys, thank you for remember to like and subscribe the video, and we'll see you next time on Techie's channel. And then he does that like 3 or 4 times in a row and makes a video out of it. Which is pretty smart. You're streaming, you're interacting, and you're making your videos all at the same time. But Pyro doesn't get that because he's just watching like a random Tectone video. Can I fire again? I guess not.
I didn't actually think he addressed any of this. I thought he tried to bury it and do League Week or something, but obviously piecing everything together, he has actually addressed it.
Well, he also said the thing about fuck Tectone. If I'd rather die than watch a Tectone video.
It's been addressed like kind of on and off throughout certain streams. That's kind of why it was hard to piece things together. I've seen like people like parrot stuff on Reddit and stuff claiming he said this, he said that, but obviously you can't run with a Reddit comment. You want it to
I just
actually
can't
be
fire
confirmed.
it again.
Now, there is one point from his initial response that I do want to push back on, and that is if you know anyone that has dealt with addiction before, half the battle is basically recognizing you have a problem. People will cope eternally in their brain. I don't have a problem. I don't do it every day. I just do it when I want to. I can quit anytime I want. Like all, you know, this laundry list of cope.
What, Mango's response or Ludwig's
some
response?
Kind of addictional problem. Acknowledging that you have a problem is like that. Most people don't even get that far. And I do think it is incredibly naive of Ludwig to take him at his word. I know that Ludwig later on in the stream does kind of parade around that he is an alcoholic, but Mango tells Ludwig that, you know, he isn't an alcoholic or he doesn't have a drinking problem, and Ludwig just kind of runs with that, lets him into the event, because obviously...
Well, it sounds like they've been drinking before, so I feel like this is inaccurate even on Pyro's part. Where they've been drinking before, they've hung out before multiple times. They, you know, hang out. They've talked to each other. So why would it be a problem? Why would it be an issue? If this is all like happened before and it's gone swimmingly the last few times, right?
If, you know, Mango said, no, I am an alcoholic, he would have just been banned from the event. And then people around him would try and stop him because obviously they want him to get better. Alcoholism isn't something that makes you act or ask rationally at all. So at this point, a new player has entered the game. This is Mango's wife, and she actually took to Twitter. And she had a few choice words to say about Ludwig, pretty much saying that Ludwig enabled him.
Hope you enjoy your grace for banning Mango while encouraging him to get wasted. Fucking Lud. Fuck you, Lud. Word for word, I need to do a shot. Where's Mango? Jesus.
He should have been more careful hosting an event like this. And these were posted after Mango got dropped by his companies and affiliates. However, people then got mad at her for shifting the blame of what Mango did onto Ludwig. But then it actually came out that nobody actually told Mango's wife what he had done, leading her to kind of delete her Twitter account. Now, for the first couple of days after Ludwig's pretty quick response on stream...
So all she knows is that he came home incredibly drunk. By the way, there is a funny clip. I don't think he played it. There's a clip where Ludwig says, "And he's driving home tonight." Like, whoa. Like, isn't the legal limit like 0.1, 0.15, or 0.2 in most states? Going to 0.3 and exceeding that? Holy shit, dude. That's fucking crazy. Yeah. Ugh.
It was radio silence. Now, Ludwig isn't like me or you. We're normies. He's not. He has a CEO mindset. Wakes up 6 a.m. in the morning, does a 10K run, makes $15 million a year. He basically has an incredibly long list of things to do, like events, sponsored streams, and a lot of people got mad because he basically didn't stop doing his streams. He went and did a League of Legends stream for a week, and then also a Cowboy Bebop crossover that his company was running. Now, after Ludwig addressed it, like I said, it was a bit of radio silence, and obviously you have the irony of when a content creator that covers drama gets into drama themselves. I know Ludwig doesn't really run the Mogul Mail account that much anymore. If anything, in the past he said he's hated it, but there's always an irony between YouTubers doing a rat race to cover drama, and then at the same time when they're involved in their own drama, they usually take time to respond, which makes complete sense. I don't think anyone should ever be rushed into doing a response. But a couple of hours ago, Ludwig did actually come back to talk more in depth about what happened. In this update, he talks about how him and Mango are still friends. They still talk to each other.
Because I am still friends with him.
And Mango basically personally asked Ludwig to not speak about the situation. It's really obvious the guy is just absolutely mortified and embarrassed about what he did. And apparently he's working on bettering himself. He's 1 day sober. And Ludwig...
Yeah, 1 day sober. Let's fucking go. He's 1 day sober. Which means that he drank when he got home. He drank for a day after he got home. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that. I think like even that, even just like I'm 1 day sober, I'm not going to drink that much anymore. Is a bit too little for like a sincere apology. I mean, he's doing a lot of it privately, right? But I definitely think, I don't know, it's weird, right? Because if you do it publicly, people are going to accuse you of being like a clout chaser, but if you do it privately, nobody's even going to know what you've done. So I get that that could be like kind of an issue. But it's definitely like, I caused all of your problems, now I'm going to let you take the heat for this, to Ludwig. Vibes.
Respected his wishes, which is why he didn't address the situation. I mean, he did address the situation. He kind of had to, but he didn't go into like more finer detail, I guess.
And I have some thoughts and opinions that I thought about speaking, but he asked of me to not speak on it. And I think that's a fair request. He said, I want to take it on the chin. He's spending time with his kid. He started day 1 of not drinking yesterday.
Now, the problem is with this situation, it has ended up becoming political, which you may have noticed on YouTube. A lot of things are starting to become political lately. You're either a left-wing wokeoid, or you're right-leaning Richard and you've unplugged from the Matrix. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is I've seen the narrative online that if you defend any of Ludwig's actions here, or even accept like him taking any responsibility, you are a
Hassan minion.
I love that word, bro. I love that word so
Hassan
much.
minion.
I've said it like 3 times in the video. I love it. My personal opinion here, when I saw Ludwig originally address this, I was like, this sucks. This is a really lame way to address this. You're almost like distancing yourself from this guy, acting like, you know, it was an unforeseen event. I think there was one part where Ludwig said on his initial stream, acknowledging it, like, you know, if one person didn't have a good time, it's a failed event. And it's kind of just giving off like media training speak a little bit. It's a little bit cringe.
One person has a bad time, it's a failed event in my mind.
But at the same time as well, it is kind of unforeseen because it's a live stream. There's no script. You have alcohol, which is literally the only drug in the world that inherently makes people more stupid, more angry, and then that can lead to more unpredictable things. And then also as well, you have the fact that an actual alcoholic was invited, and that has led to all of this spiraling. So I will be honest, Ludwig's initial acknowledgement, I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of pushing it to the side a little bit. And then the fact as well that, you know...
So I guess that political thing didn't go anywhere. I was kind of waiting for him to get to it. Yeah, I don't know. I think both of them like have blame to share. But after hearing that like this has happened like multiple times and it has gone like totally fine, I think I'm more ready to blame Mango than I am Ludwig, and honestly, I think it's like a completely regrettable situation. And like, you know, he made people uncomfortable, which is like far from the worst thing you can possibly do. It's unpleasant, but I can't say that there's all that much more than that in this situation, right? He didn't like hurt anybody. So it's like, okay. But yeah, this game is confusing. Did that guy just like despawn? Did I kill him? I have no idea. Anyway. Yeah, I think there's definitely some blame on Ludwig, a little bit, but after hearing all of that, I'm like, yeah, it definitely seems like a more like unfortunate circumstance thing than anything else. And like I don't know, I don't like Ludwig, but I actually don't think he has a huge amount of blame here. If this is like this has happened before, it's all gone fine. They both drink a lot of alcohol pretty regularly. But I still can't get over the fact though that they said like don't let him drink. Somebody had to have known. And this is one of the things with Pyro having ADHD, right? Where it's like somebody had to have known not to give him alcohol. In fact, like the leader of like what was happening is like, don't give him alcohol. So like, I don't get it. Maybe Ludwig is to blame. If we take that into account, this has happened before. Okay. Then that means that something had to have happened either at the last one that made people worry, or just in between drinking parties in general that somebody had to worry. That made it not okay to, and he shouldn't have invited him in the first place. Yeah, no, okay. I retract what I said. I do think Ludwig is to blame for this. Mango for sure has a part responsibility, but if you knowingly bring somebody who has a problem, alcohol, it's kind of your fault.
He just kind of kept streaming like nothing happened, but thankfully he did do kind of a follow-up stream talking about it, also bringing up Tectone as well. I can tell that Ludwig does not like Tectone, mostly because Tectone is making a killing right now talking about Ludwig.
There's a perception of Mango that people have in their mind, but they don't actually care about him. He was messaging me, he was like, Tectone followed me. Who is Tectone? Like,
I mean, by that logic, wouldn't Ludwig have an issue with Pyro? Because Pyro's like, none of these people are like actually friends. They're like business associates. They don't know each other in real life.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a very genuine pursuit of the people who speak on Mango's behalf. And I know that because I speak to Mango.
Giving my like last personal take, I think there are levels to any career. There are levels to, you know, singing, to acting. There are levels to, oh my, wait a minute. Oh my God, wait a minute, bro. I have Ludwig's channel in the background. Is that
I have no
Echo
idea what
2K?
he's referencing.
Is that E from Echo 2? Who did that? That's based. No, never mind. I'm full Ludwig Glazer now. What the hell? The point I'm trying to make is there are levels to it, right? And Ludwig is infinitely more relevant and famous than you are, I am, and most of the people watching this video. And when you're at that level, unfortunately, you do become a bit more kind of corporate, a little bit more clinical, sterilized, because you kind of have to be. You have to be as applicable to as many people as possible. So when a drama like this happens, it's kind of like, I can't pause everything because I have so many events going on.
I mean, I don't think that's accurate. I actually think that people who... There are many ways to get popular. Ludwig is definitely like better at performing events. I think that's why people mainly follow him. I think he has a lot of people who follow him who don't like him, actually. Because they follow him for events, not for his own personality. And I don't know if he's a bad streamer. I don't watch him. But I watched him with Cold Ones. I watched him with Germa. I watched him with other people. I don't follow him, like I said, but I know of him through all those other things. So there's a potential that other people who are just like really integrated into Twitch culture follow him because he is like pretty big in Twitch culture, but that doesn't mean that people necessarily even like him.
That I've planned. But what's my takeaway from this? Ludwig is a Hassan minion.
Oh, but also I think you get a lot of views and a lot of people liking you just from like picking a side of hate. Like you just decide to hate somebody or partner with somebody else, and then you get a shitload of views. That's like Destiny, right? That's like what a Destiny orbiter is. They like, I'm gonna follow Destiny now, and I'm gonna hate everybody Destiny hates. That's like J-Stock. I think Dan is probably like the least orbiter. Like, he's the most orbiter because he's like literally there the most. But I actually think he has most of his own opinions. Like, I don't think Destiny would go after Twitch the same way that Dan Saltman does. I don't think, and Dan is willing to talk to a lot more people than Destiny is. So yeah, or like Hassan, you can get a lot of views by being a Hassan waiting room or Hassan orbiter. Now to the degree that Ludwig is, I have no idea. How many million views does he have? Oh, great pause, by the way. I didn't even realize that. The great pause on my part. How many subscribers does he have? 6.73 million. Tectone is like at 1 million, right? Having a sixth of your subscribers isn't actually that bad. So Ludwig got see, 112K on a video. So yeah, almost all the things that gets... This bald streamer called me out, so I embarrassed him on stream. But like, knowing Ludwig, he's probably like talking to him.
Yes.
Yep, alright, I don't care. Yep, that was Pyrocynical's video. That's actually the second time I watched it today, because the first time I watched it, I was like kind of out of it. But now I think I kind of just have my opinion of Ludwig even more reinforced. I think he's a rat. I think he's a rat bastard. Okay. So I have one more video to go over. If it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. It's 12:20. This is Tectone's most recent video going over the situation.
For some reason,
and apparently Ludwig is now talking even more about Tectone.
Reason we are here once again. I don't know why we're here once again, but Ludwig for some reason can't keep my name out of his mouth, and he's now trying to paint me as a disingenuous content creator. When I showcase you guys the reason why he's painting me as a disingenuous content creator, and when he goes on record saying that he'd rather kill myself than him watch any of my videos, and then he proceeded to watch both of my videos, I think you guys are going to start putting the pieces together. I want to make this very clear. I have had no issue with Ludwig before any of this. None. I have no desire to make these.
Is he quiet?
Videos, but when
I feel like he was too loud last time I watched him, and now he's too quiet.
Hundreds of thousands of people, I really don't know what you want me to do. Just stop saying my fucking name so I can move forward with my life. Am I going to complain about getting another YouTube video? No. But if there's one thing I'm not going to fucking tolerate, it's being called disingenuous when my entire fucking shtick is being as genuine as fucking possible. I've gotten to so much.
I mean, there is literally no one else like on main Akumer as there is Tectone, so there is that. Do I think Tectone is disingenuous? Is he not the same person on stream that he is off stream? I think he's probably way quieter off stream, but for the most part, his personality is the same. I do have one controversial thing about Tectone. Besides his dad stuff, I guess. But my personal controversial thing about Tectone is that, like, I think he got a dog for content. Because he got the dog and day one made content about it. Which is fine. You're allowed to do that. If you take care of the dog, I don't care why you have it. I don't even think he's being, like, super dishonest either. I'm just like, eh. I feel like you got this dog to make money. Just fine. Like, almost everyone fucking does that to some degree or another. I think Hassan fucking did it. Yeah.
As I tell the truth, even out of fault, even when it makes me look like shit. So if you are new here and if you are interested in seeing everything going on with this completely self-orchestrated disaster that Ludwig just will not stop causing upon himself, and I want to make this very clear, no one is causing this guy's misfortune rather than his own stubbornness and the ability to not take accountability for anything. Like, comment, subscribe on this video. We got 10,000 new subs from the last one, and I greatly appreciate that. And turn the bell on for all notifications because, God forbid, I'm not dealing with this fucking child for free. And I mean this generally, guys. I'm 31 years old, and I feel like I'm speaking to autistic children.
I mean,
whatever, dude. Don't get what a normal human being who has empathy looks like when they're fucking 29.
Ooh,
so Ludwig,
a winery.
oh Ludwig, I will explain.
I want one of these in my house. This giant like wine basement. That seems super cool. I don't even like wine.
Here's the clip of Ludwig calling me out. We're gonna watch everything in its totality. No clipping out of context. This is a 2-minute whole segment. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Yeah, leave a comment on what you guys think. After this, we're going to be talking about Asmongold's reaction on this and his issues with Ludwig.
Oh my god, I don't want to reacception this.
Company, and I hope you guys are as miserable with me, because every single time I have to deal with somebody on this platform, I just use a little bit more faith in humanity. There's a reason why I uploaded the video.
Okay, get to the fucking video.
Yesterday, although I couldn't upload that title because I would get demonetized. You know,
like I said earlier, he's doing a stream, so there's a lot of filler stuff in here, but he's also interacting with chat a lot.
Okay, I won't lie about it. It is what it is. But
do you want to know why this drama is happening, Ludwig? Because you can't just say that you fucked up and you're sorry. And it's really not that hard. Nobody wants to cancel your career. We just want to see some fucking accountability. Let me rephrase that. I don't care. Listen, Ludwig, you at your worst, you're a disingenuous piece of shit bad friend, right? That's it at your worst. Right,
I think that's going a bit far.
Done some good. And by the way,
I think like having the full context, that is going a bit too far, actually.
Me saying that isn't good for my own channel. You know as well as I know, the thing that I should be saying right now is this guy, he's a piece of shit. I hate everything he stands for. But I'm not going to sit here and inflate my views to be more extreme in order to fart more of the hate crowd against you. I don't fucking care, brother. I just want you to fucking shut up and try to stop painting me in a bad light.
It is funny they say he doesn't care, and then like immediately, like right before this, he asks people to subscribe because he can't care unless you subscribe. That's the only reason he's doing this. It's just funny.
That have happened. I don't care.
This is all for content. That's all this is. It's all for content.
For the love of God. All right, let's get into it more.
In this world, we can only control the things we can control, and I can't control my reputation. I can't control the way people.
Yes, you can, brother.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
If you were to just say, man, I feel fucking horrible about a situation.
This is one of the things where I'm like, he's in like crash out mode. He's not like crashing out in the like specific definition, but he's definitely in crash out mode. Where it's like, he's like being very dramatic. He's, oh my god. Fuck off. Like, he knows what he's saying isn't true, but in the moment, he's so stressed out that he's like exaggerating a bit or like trying to cope with things. He's like, yeah, you absolutely can't control your reputation. That's like the entire point of being a content creator, is controlling your reputation into making you money. Alright, this fucking... I don't remember having this issue that often with Forgive Me Father 1, but I like have to focus or I'll die.
Ways that I let Mango be in. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have given alcohol to an alcoholic, and going forward, I will make sure to be more responsible with the people I invite. You would have farmed W's and nobody would have even talking about this. But Ludwig, your problem is you only talk about things and apologize for things once they become mainstream. But if you can skirt by before anybody talks about it, you have zero accountability. You can't control your reputation.
That might be true. I don't know enough about his previous dramas to say.
That you can't control anything, it's just a fucking lie.
People feel about me. Now, I did talk to Mango, actually. I talked to Mango. He reached out. We talked a bit. And I have some thoughts and opinions that I thought about speaking, but he asked...
Yeah, but I got to formulate them
to make
them
fuck
as
off.
least offensive as possible. Keep going.
...of me to not speak on it.
You're full of shit. You are absolutely
Stop pausing. Like, I know he should pause, but you're literally just pausing to call him a piece of shit. Come on.
Mango reached out to you and said, don't talk about it at all. And don't take any accountability. And don't and make sure to double down that you feel no guilt. Because here's the thing. You said that Mango said...
Oh, wait. That's also true, right? Oh, fuck. I missed the pause button.
After you've already talked.
That is crazy, is that he's like continuing, the Ludwig is continuing to talk about it despite Mango being like, hey, please don't talk about it. And I'm like, I'm super embarrassed. Please don't talk about me getting so alcoholic drunk. I'm so embarrassed. And he's like, guys, I have to talk about this right fucking now.
Talked about it 3 times, said that you're doubling down and you feel no guilt and you have no regrets. So full of shit, it's insane. Jesus Christ.
And I think that's a fair request. He said, I want to take it on the chin.
Wait, is this his first response?
I think the drama is dying out. He's spending time with his
Wait,
kid.
so I forgot. Is he trying to take this on the chin or trying to like avoid talking about it? I'm confused. I'm getting mixed messages from Ludwig.
Do you want to know why the drama with Mango is dying out and the drama with you is perpetuating, Ludwig? Do you want to know why that is? That's because the moment he fucked up, before anybody even said anything, he put out 5 tweets expressing how humiliated he was with himself and how he deserved all the misfortune coming to him. That is why no one is talking about Mango still. That is why. And that's good because Mango fucked up tremendously and he needs help and he needs to get medicated and he needs to go to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings because quitting alcohol is very
I guess, I don't know.
Day 1 of not drinking yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, day 1 sober. That's crazy.
On that. Let's keep going.
Which is dope.
Okay, look, that's like, I don't know, maybe for somebody who is heavily drinking, like I said, but I kind of take the Caleb Hammer approach is like, 1 day of not drinking is not a huge amount, okay? That's not like crazy. 1 day of not drinking is not insane. It's like, I didn't spend on my credit card for a single day. It's like, dude, that's 24 hours. That's not that fucking long.
And like, I think genuinely
progress, but it's like, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
There's a perception of Mango that people have in their mind, but they don't actually care about him. I don't think they'll be in his stream when he's back to streaming in a month or whenever it is.
It doesn't matter if people care about Mango or not. It doesn't matter if they're going to be in a stream or not. That's not how you judge someone's loyalty or their credibility or their kinship for one person. Having a general worry for people just because they're a common human is pretty much it. I don't need to see someone dying on the street to want to help them, but I won't help them unless they're my friend. If someone's injured in the street, I will make sure to call an ambulance for them and make sure they're taken care of, and then I will continue upon my day. That doesn't mean that I'm going to send them letters and now become best friends with them. It's just common empathy for another human. And I don't get how shit of a take it is saying, all these people who are pretending to care about Mango, they don't actually care about Mango. They're not going to watch his streams. It's not even about that. You don't need to have
really not
that deep of a level of kinship, of affinity for someone to want to make sure that they're okay and to not die of alcohol poisoning when they're a fucking known alcoholic and then go around sexually harassing women. You don't want them to fucking do that. You don't.
Yeah, that also, I think I understand a bit more where Tectone's coming from, because at first I was kind of like, well, I guess Ludwig's kind of right. None of these people really care. But it's also like, it feels like I am way too hot. Actually, one sec. I have a question. Did I get it? Bro, the cushion? Where is it? Oh, no, I'm sitting on it. It's too hot. No, so, like, the thing is that, like, you don't need to be friends with somebody to care about, like, basic humanship. About, like, basic standards that they live up to. Like, if you see a hobo, you're gonna go, oh, that's disgusting. They should not be gross, right? For, like, a funny example, I guess. If you see somebody who's, like, an alcoholic, you're like, oh, they should not drink and probably not, like, fuck with other people. That's not, like, an insanely, like, oh, you can't judge him. You're not his friends. You don't know his life. That's like, actually, I'm a member of society and he is too, and I think he should not, like, be a detriment to society. I don't know. I'm probably not drawing, like, the best through line there, but I don't think that's, I think it's good enough.
To be their friend, to do what's right for the common man. Like, what are we doing here? This is the most robotic take. I'm a lizard man sent from the UFOs. Supreme Leader, I'm going on my mission. How do I blend in with the humans? You must only take care of the people who you grow close with. Ignore all non-doers. Yes, sir. Skin suit on.
I mean, yeah, also, like, yeah, how could you say that whenever, like, is this deranged? How can you say, like, don't, you can't care about Mango if you don't watch him. Also, like, I'm pretty sure Ludwig was like, go fucking donate to Palestine. It's like, you don't know those fucking people. You don't know their lives. And it's like, I think it's okay to not understand or know something and still like place judgment on them. I don't think that's insane.
Hello? Can people not care for a stranger? Like, this is sociopathic levels of misunderstanding what it means to be human.
Again, this is him crashing out because I don't believe that this is what Ludwig truly believes.
Is this a different streamer? The entire purpose of the Chimera Ant arc is existentialism, aka what it means to be a human. Maybe rewatch that because you can
the Chimera Ant arc? What is he talking about?
And I can't believe I'm having to fucking describe basic empathy to a 29-year-old man. Holy shit, what the fuck? This is psychotic.
He's 29? God, I really fucked up, didn't I? I'm not Ludwig.
W friends in chat? What the fuck? Holy shit. Yeah, guys, Mango said he doesn't want me taking accountability, so I'm just respecting his wishes. Yeah, dude, true. Big true. Absolutely.
I would want to see those, actually, because his wife, like, came out after all this and like defended him until like she found out what he did. But did he not tell her, hey, don't defend me, I did some fucked up stuff?
3 more years, guys, and I'll unlock it. We all know what he's unlocking in 3 years.
He was messaging me. He was like, Tectone followed me. Who the fuck is Tectone? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not.
Wait, what? I'm gonna turn him up too.
Like
3 more years, guys, and I'll unlock it. We all know what he's unlocking in 3 years.
He was messaging me. He was like, Tectone followed me. Who the fuck is Tectone? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not a very genuine pursuit of the people who speak on Mango's behalf.
Okay. So let me get this right. Even though I have said multiple times, I have no idea who Mongo is. I have no idea who C9 Mango is. I barely even know what C9 is. Besides some guy named Medios who was a fucking dick 9 years ago and didn't show up to Good Games Con in Canada. That's about my extent of C9 knowledge. Let me get this right. So because I just now followed him, after me explicitly saying, check every single video. Check every single video, Ludwig. I have said multiple times, I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. But here's the thing, Ludwig.
I mean, you're gonna follow somebody who's relevant to a situation that you're covering.
To make sure someone is okay. Do you want to know why I followed him, Ludwig? Do you want to know why I followed him? Because when I saw a guy,
show me Tectone. Show me Tectone feeding a poor person a sandwich. I need to know that he like truly does as much charity as he says that he would. Show me Tectone feeding a poor guy a sandwich.
With 100 other people, and not a single one of them was his friend, and attempted to mitigate any of the life-ruining things that he did on camera because he was blackout drunk, and honestly, the guy's probably a little bit weird too. I still have enough empathy and care for the common man. I was going to reach out to him and hopefully help him provide with him a therapist, maybe an easy way to talk about his issues.
Yeah, this is going way too far, Taki. This is like, were you really? To my understanding, Tectone actually does talk to a lot of people. He's shown his messages on the stream a couple times, especially whenever it was like getting people to move from Twitch to Kick. He did actually go out of his way to get people partnerships, sponsors and partnerships on Kick. So there's that. I don't know. I feel like this is a bit much.
Into a support program for his alcoholism.
Like, no, you're probably not really going to get him a therapist, are you?
I have had family members who have suffered from alcoholism, and it's not good. These people become unrecognizable. Now, Ludwig,
yeah, I have an alcohol problem. My problem is I don't have another beer in my hand.
So I would hope that you would get this. But the fact that you think that I'm following him because I'm disingenuous? No, I went to follow him because I want to help this guy with his issues because I know nobody else is going to, or at least that's the perception that I got. You want to paint me disingenuous because I'm down to help the common man?
Yeah, I think going this far is definitely going against Tectone. He's making himself like look really fucking good. It's like, I'm the savior. I'm gonna help this guy. I'm gonna do the best I can. And it's like, did you message him once? Did you really? It just seems super weird.
Ludwig! What type of reptilian robot are you? Did Hassan, your daddy, tell you to say that? Is that the reason why you've said my name now 3 times in a negative context when all I have done is say the provable truth about you? This shit is disgusting. Like what in the fuck are you even trying to say about me? Hey, this guy went to go follow him. He only followed him after all this shit. Yeah, because I didn't fucking know him. Yeah, but if you're not friends with someone for at least 3 years and 6 days, you don't get to follow them and talk to them because you want to help them? What? Jesus.
Yeah, that is super weird.
You think I have something to gain from helping Mango? No. Do you think I disclosed any of that publicly? No, you are forcing me to. And this shit is weird as fuck. Good Lord, what a fucking loser, bro. Just a straight up idiot. Do you know how many, and by the way, if you're a content creator here, feel free to tweet this out. Feel free to DM Ludwig. Feel free to leave a comment on this YouTube channel. Do you know how many content creators I have reached out to that I don't know at all? Because they've come underneath heat on the internet, because they're in an issue on the internet, because they need more money on the internet, because they are looking to further their career on the internet? Hundreds.
Yeah, he has shown that before.
Ludwig, you can check my tweets from 2 weeks ago. Do you know how many people I reached out to that I didn't even fucking know to help them join on Kick because they said they wanted to?
Wait, can we actually look at that? Let me start a new tab. I go to Twitter. What is his thing? Is it Tectone or not so techy? Oh my god, he tweets a shitload. Says you can check my tweet from 2 weeks ago. This came out yesterday. It's gonna be the 20th? 21st? 19th. Wait, what? Did I just skip through? Okay, wait, maybe it's more time. I'm not seeing it. I don't think he actually did tweet that out. Or if he did, it's in a thread. Yeah, I'm not finding it. Maybe it's longer ago.
Well over 400, Ludwig. Yes, it's true. You can talk to people you don't know and still want to help people you don't know, even if you disagree what they've done. I think Mongo needs help with his alcohol issue, and I think he needs therapy. I don't need to know someone to want to help someone. Do you understand that? I'm not like you LA fucks who only want to help people who can help them with their career. Ain't nobody helped me with my career at all. You joined OTK. My numbers stagnated when I joined OTK. I didn't get help from shit. Maybe more recently, Asmon, more Pegasus, you know, the slop tubers, they've been very kind to me. But I didn't do anything for them as a means to up those numbers. like you would say. I help people because I like helping people. Does
Okay,
that make
buddy.
sense to you? Do you get that? Do you understand that, Ludwig? No, I mean this genuinely.
Maybe he does.
Genuinely, do you get this? I like helping people, even if I don't know them. Now, in your mind, you may not get that. Because your daddy tells you, oh no, this Tectone guy, he's a horrible piece of shit. Yeah, dude, of course.
So, okay, one thing I will say. Tectone saw Chud Logic. And he was like, who's this Chud Logic guy? And then apparently Tectone had like offered him to play Fortnite, or offered to play Fortnite with him, like years ago. And Chud was like having an issue with him about his dad, and they talked about it, and they were like, all right, well, you know. And Chud was like, well, I'm not entirely certain I believe you, but I think you're like a decent guy. And Tectone was like, well, sorry you don't do that, but you know, it was a good talking. It was like, fine. I don't know if that's exactly how it went, but yeah, Tectone went out of his way to like talk to Chud, and it was like, oh, okay. Definitely a big step compared to like what Hassan and Ludwig do. Because I feel like Ludwig should just talk to Tectone or something, but maybe that is, like, I don't know, just talk to anybody, except for his inner circle. Because at this point, it does seem, like, kind of odd. That, like, it definitely feels like the world versus Ludwig right now. It doesn't feel like Ludwig has anybody on his side. Like, is Hassan defending Ludwig? Is Germa defending Ludwig? Is anybody defending Ludwig right now? Northern Lion? Co-Carnage? And Munition? Sergeant Wheat? I want to say that's his name. Something Wheat? DJ Wheat. DJ Peach Cobbler? I don't know.
Of course I am. But for anybody else who hasn't bought into your daddy's augmented sense of reality, you'll understand that I like helping people and not asking anything for return, even if I think these people are pieces of shit. Because I understand everybody has bad phase in their life. I understand everybody has issues they've caused or problems they've caused in their life. I understand that there's two types of people in this world. There are people who have been convicted of their crimes and people who have not been convicted of their crimes. Nobody is pure on this earth. Now, Disney, the media, will be able to explain to you that, well, there's really bad guys, and you'll be able to tell because they'll have flies following them and a dark black aura. And then there's really good guys who have nice frou-frou puffed up hair and, you know, really nice overshirts.
I have not heard a person under the age of like 60 say frou-frou before.
Really cleaned up eyebrows, and these are the good guys. These are the good guys. No, everybody is a shade of gray on this earth. I understand everybody has their own faults. But to call me disingenuous because I want to help someone who I think needed help, whether I even fuck with this guy or not, and I'll be real, I don't. You're right, Ludwig. I'm not going to talk to this guy at all. I'm going to say, hey, brother, recommend you get some help for your alcoholism. Recommend you get somebody to talk to. If you need help with me hooking you up with an online counselor, you let me know. You want to call me disingenuous for that? Pathetic.
And I know that.
May God have mercy on your soul.
Because I speak to Mango. Because I am still friends with him. And I banned him from my.
Yeah, I'll be real, man. With friends like you, man, Mango does not need enemies. That's great, brother. Yep.
I mean, to a degree, yeah. Ludwig managed to get Mango banned from like a lot of shit because of the drinking thing. He apparently Ludwig like repeatedly brings Mango into alcohol-laden environments. It just generally doesn't seem like Ludwig is a great friend to Mango. I mean, maybe on the other hand, like this is just like the one fuck up, and normally it's fine, which is what it seems like it is. But like, maybe it is an ongoing situation. So if Ludwig does get back Mango's like sponsorships, gets him back into C9 or whatever, I think it'll be okay. Ludwig did the right thing, and it can all be like a forgettable mistake. It doesn't seem like that's totally happening, but maybe it's in progress in the background.
events because
look at that. You even conditioned your little pussy chat to go ew whenever my name's typed. Wow, good for you. Good for you. You want to know why they type ill when you talk about me, Ludwig? Because these are the people, and I can tell that your chat's just as retarded as the people who you associate yourself with. These people have bought into a augmented sense of reality of things that have never fucking happened. Congratulations. Are you proud? Are you proud?
Honestly, just conditioning your chat against any kind of creator without like some kind of genuine hate is super weird. Cause like, what did Ludwig fucking hate Tectone for before this? I need to know the context for that.
Very good, man. Look at that. You got a couple of puppies. They type ew whenever you type Tectone. Very cool. Isn't that so cool? Look at how smart and informed your chat is. That's amazing. I wonder how many of those people follow Hassan. Let's keep going here.
I felt I had to because my girlfriend and my girlfriend's best.
Oh, and by the way, and I'll try to find this clip later. Someone typed Tectone Goat in this chat, and they banned him. Do you think I'm gonna ban someone for typing W Ludwig? Do you know how small you have to be to where you say, "Oh man"?
That's actually incredibly petty.
Jesus, what a small, spineless little man you are.
Best friend Maya are in my room at 2 a.m. telling me that they felt really uncomfortable at my own event. So I think a lot of people want me to take accountability.
You know what's crazy, Ludwig? How you would need your friends for them to tell you that they were uncomfortable. You couldn't even notice? Do you know how retarded you have to be to need someone to tell you that? Everybody would know.
I don't know how I feel about that. I know some pretty spurgy people that do not pick up on any kind of like social cues. I'm one of them. Like until recently, I think I was absolutely dog shit at picking up social cues. So I can kind of get it.
Oh, that if they had.
But Ludwig was also drunk. The two buts are that he's drunk and that he they're opposites of each other. The first one is that he's drunk. The second one is that he no health. What kind of boss is this? And the other one is that he is like a streamer. Like almost the entire point of it, like not the point, but like one of the biggest skill sets of him is like picking up social cues, especially as like a person who puts together parties for other people. So it's super weird for him to like. Yeah, it is super weird for him to like not actually pick up on social cues.
Fucking eyeballs, brother.
I think I said my piece on it, and I think.
Yeah. By the way, he said. Let's go back here so we can hear this again.
I think a lot of people want me to take accountability. I think I said my piece on it, and I think if people don't fuck with me, that's totally chill.
Him addressing it is saying that he has no regrets, and he doubles down on everything not being his fault. Which, by the way, even in California, bartenders are responsible for the people who they serve alcohol to and can get in lawsuits in case the people who they've served alcohol to do any regrettable behavior. So I want to make sure that this is the guy that everybody knows and they understand exactly what he's saying, that he's done.
So this is true in England. I got banned from the student bar for getting drunk.
I can't allow fear to control my life.
Because oh, I get a choice? I wasn't even really paying attention. This guy killed a bunch of Germans in World War I. Should he forgive himself or never be forgiven? I'm gonna say forgive himself. But I drank so much, I vomited 2 or 3 times, went home, vomited some more, came back, drank more, and I wasn't allowed in the student bar again after that. For I think like a year or something. I didn't harass anybody. I didn't do anything like troubling, or like even what can even be disturbed, like minorly disturbed, is like a disturbing the peace. Whoa. Excuse me. No, I wasn't actually banned. They just didn't serve me alcohol. I was allowed in, but I couldn't order. I'm definitely on the edge of you're not responsible for people. If you're but like I don't know, I guess it depends. I'm definitely much more aware of like nightclub life. A lot of people are bringing their own shit into that stuff, right? They're bringing their own like weed or coke or meth or Molly or whatever else, versus like, you know, a normal like hometown bar where you're getting, you know, a couple of drinks with your buddies, you're going there to chat, lubricate the spirit, and chill out. Which is very different. Oh, excuse me. So even I think what Ludwig did, and Ludwig was more of that, I think, like Molly style thing where people are there to specifically consume as much alcohol as possible. I don't know.
Doubling down, and he doesn't regret a single fucking thing that he did. Is that not insane? Oh, that's totally chill with him, man. That's totally chill with him. Man, great guy, man. Great guy.
And if anyone in here don't fuck with me, I think that's totally chill.
God, he's so cool, bro.
You don't fuck with me, that's chill, bruh. Hey, bruh, that's chill. The only people I like to chill with are alcoholics. Yo, let's hit a kegger at the AA meeting, bruh.
You know who he sounds like right now? He sounds like Hassan. Because this is, I guarantee you, he talked to Hassan and asked how to handle this. And he said, bro, just double down. Yeah, just double down and say fuck Tectone. You want to know why people say fuck Tectone? Because the internet has been so brainwashed to disagree with everything that I said that he needed an easy W. By the way, Denims did the exact same thing. But don't worry, guys. Slowly but surely, I'm repairing my reputation that should have never been damaged at all. However, I'll be real, Mizkif's community and Hassan's community absolutely fucking raped my reputation. To be completely real. Yeah, these people are fucking psychotic. It really is very pathetic.
Actually don't mind that. I can't control that aspect. I don't need to be liked by people.
I don't need to
yes,
be
you
liked
do. You make money
by
off of being
people
liked by people.
At all. God forbid I say, hello, sorry for enabling an alcoholic and putting his life in danger. I'm not going to do that because I'm, hold up, contacting my alien overlord. What do I say again? Glorp, understood.
But it is what it is. I don't understand necessarily why Twitch banned Mango and not me. I don't even know if I necessarily agree with it. I think it'd be fine if Twitch banned me. But
they should have banned both of you. It's very obvious. But you're a good boy. You're a golden boy. You're a good, squeaky clean guy, just like Hassan. You're part of his clique, which means you won't get banned. It's amazing.
I'm not Twitch.
I do wonder if that's more in
it's my responsibility.
If Ludwig is telling the truth and he doesn't know why he got, like, Mango got banned, but not him.
Fucking keep trudging through life because the world keeps spinning and it doesn't stop.
And maybe...
You know what else doesn't stop? Your friend's alcohol addiction. Good job,
maybe being
Ludwig.
friends
really
with Hassan is
you
saving
really
him?
Scored an easy dunk. May God
I think
have
it's easy
mercy
to
on your
do
soul. What a
conspiracy
pathetic
theories
creep.
because we have so
Like,
little
comment, subscribe.
information
I'm
about
covering
what's
the
going on
XQC
at
and As
Twitch
the Gold
HQ.
take in the next video. We're going to do another one because this shit is fucking pathetic. See y'all there. Like, comment, subscribe. Which is, we have a WestJet video going on with the...
Okay. So that's it. That's the end of the video. I do think Ludwig is a rat, but I also think Twitch has let like weird shit like this go on for way too long, to a degree. Like, I honestly don't think that you should even be having like alcohol parties to determine who can drink the most and drive. And especially having people there who aren't like, I can think of ways how you could organize this so it does like there is less chance of danger or like weird shit happening, because like, you know, Cold Ones does it all the fucking time. I mean, they do like parties like this, but they drink a shitload and the guy gets weird, but nobody gets like harassed. Excuse me. I do, to a degree, I do think Ludwig should just be like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I think him coming out and saying like I should have been banned, I should have been the one who got banned, is actually pretty reasonable and fair. And that's like him kind of being like, yeah, I don't understand this situation, I don't understand what's going on, and he's maybe focusing more on that end. So yeah, I don't know, it's a weird situation. I think it's definitely a lot less clear than what I thought. I do think both of them have blame. But oh, sorry, yawning. Jesus. Yeah, I think they both have blame, but I also think Ludwig saying that like both deserve blame but not accepting it as much as he should be weird. I think bringing Tectone into this is super weird. Like why is fucking Ludwig talking about Tectone? He's not like relevant to this at all. And it's like if he's just trying to go after people talking about it, why aren't you going after like Pegasus or Pyro or anybody else? I mean, Pyro just uploaded his video. But there was another thing actually. You can look on Yeet's Twitter, or wait, I can pull it up. That's my job. That's not my job. The Awk 2000. Where is it? The thing is that like if you want to find something on Awk's channel, you have, or Twitter, you have to like bookmark it or like it to figure out like what it is. Ethan Hassan Destiny, Ethan Hassan Destiny. Okay, well, I guess to summarize it, somebody was putting together a video on the situation, and Ludwig's editors were copyright claiming them. On. Dude, this is fucking crazy. He tweets the Awk 2000 has to be like 3 or 4 people. Because there's so many fucking tweets. I should have had it prepared. That's the real answer. Alright, whatever. Basically, whatever this came out, Ludwig was definitely like on the offensive, trying to prevent people from even talking about it. Well, not him himself, but like his team. Here we go. I found it. So here we go. YouTuber Siros TV says the copyright strikes he got on his Mango Ludwig videos were from clip channels. So it wasn't actually Ludwig's editors. So it's been a super fucking weird situation. I don't know. I dislike almost the entire business of like the upper world streaming. I feel like you can't even have your own opinions, and that everything has to be tied to your like leader. And people play it like very feudalistically. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been playing a lot of Rogue Trader, and that game has like a lot of like royal politics in it. Not a lot, but definitely some. And it feels like Ludwig may not even have like a single political opinion in his mind, but because Hassan is like another big guy on Twitch, he's like playing ball with him. Even though Hassan is like exclusively political and probably like I don't even know if they share the same views. I don't think they do. I don't think Ludwig gives a fuck about politics, honestly. And probably doesn't even vote the same way Hassan does because he wants like less regulation on his entertainment. Or making money from it at least. Um And then it like involves a bunch of other people, like almost any drama with anybody at the head of Twitch. Involves like a shitload of other people who are like completely irrelevant just because they're tied to other people. But it's also people collabing with people who they have like no need to. YouTube feels way more organized in that sense because I feel like anybody who collabs on YouTube collabs with YouTubers in their same sphere, but Twitch is kind of like still very small. So anybody who's big collaborates with almost anybody else who is also big. Like on YouTube, okay, it did happen in one circumstance, but forget that that happened. You're not going to see PewDiePie collaborate with Sargon of Akkad. They didn't really collaborate. They had like one like 20-minute call, I think, on like Google Hangouts. And you're not going to see fucking like Nick Diorio hang out with like Pippa Pipkin, right? Like that shit's not fucking happening. But on Twitch, you're seeing people who are like, I'm a gaming channel, so I'm going to collaborate with like the largest political streamer. I'm a political streamer. Let me collab with all of these gaming channels. It just feels super weird. And in a way incestuous because these collaborations have been going on for like almost 10 years now, right? To a degree. Like probably once Destiny left, it probably used to be like Destiny and Ludwig, and then it became like Hassan and Ludwig. And now they all hate whoever's persona non grata. Even though like a few years ago they would have been partying. Because like they don't hate them, they don't like them either. They don't care about these people off stream. The only issue is that whenever somebody becomes hate, now you're attacking them as a business because everything is personality based. It's so fucking weird. I just feel like, oh, if you're on YouTube and I was like, I don't like the Yogs cast, who gives a fuck? But if you're on Twitch and you say, I don't like Hassan, that invites a whole shitload of people to like come and fuck with you, I feel. All right. I think that's gonna be it for me. If you like this stream, I'm glad you liked it. I have to find another game I like because that was not the best ever. I didn't like Forgive Me Father 2 as much as Forgive Me Father 1. But anyway, have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful tomorrow. Have a wonderful Sunday. I'll be back on Jesus, what day is today? I'll probably be back on the 17th. No. The 18th. I'll probably be back on the 18th because I have a very long vacation. Yeah. Hopefully some drama we'll have then. I'll be covering like everything that I missed. Hopefully it won't be like this where it's like both kind of like not fully concluded, just mostly. Oh my god.